Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wooden Sheep podcast. Where in today's episode, we've got fire in our hearts, and we're going to wage a war, basically. But later on in the episode, because I think we want to sandwich that little nugget of shit, as Simi so eloquently put yesterday. Sandwich the nugget of shit of that bad experience in between just like some sandwich goodness. Although, to be honest, the sides of the sandwich are kind of the worst part, the bread. That's not really a good
it's not
analogy.
just bread. It could be like some lettuce, some good stuff.
Who likes
and
lettuce, man? Do you
Dude,
like?
don't remind me. I literally just I just ate the last part of my sandwich and it was all crust and it was not good.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That shit's awful. And like even at the end, like the edge of a pizza is bad. The edge of anything is never good.
Dude, okay, hot take. Pizza crust, first off, is pretty okay, but you can make pizza like really good if you make the crust. Like some pizzerias fill the crust with cheese,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the crust is the
Stuffed
best
crust.
thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is there any other food like a fish? If you're eating a fish, the edges are shit as well. You got the head and the tail. Although some people eat the tail, it's pretty crispy. But
Or like that one ice cream you like that has shitty dark chocolate in the middle.
that's in the center. Yeah, it tastes like some coffee. Awful. I hate it. I hate it. It ruined such a perfectly good ice cream.
Like it's all nice and sweet, like chocolatey, vanilla-y, nutty, and then you get to this fucking coffee tasting ass thing that I'm sure many people would like, but not you.
Not
The
me.
coffee ice cream is awesome.
Yeah, I see. I knew it. I had a feeling Tommy would like that.
Tommy likes fucked up stuff. Yeah.
Wait,
hell
let's
yeah.
test it. Do you like licorice, Tommy?
I don't even know.
The fact
Like,
that
I
you're
used
even
to
thinking
hate it.
about it though is already a sin.
Dude, I used to hate it so fucking much. But like my grandma came over the other day and was like, "Oh, my son, here's some stuff."
My
And
son?
then my grandson. She left like licorice mints, and
Oh, that sounds awful.
I unpacked it. I was like, "This smells fucking disgusting." But I had to try, and it's actually like I actually enjoyed that.
Is that a
Maybe I'll try.
is that a German grandma thing? Do they give licorice? Because licorice originates in Germany, right?
Not really. I don't know. I think it might actually.
Or at least it's
Even-
popular in Germany. also.
Yeah. Even if it's not originating, it seems very popular.
But
They're like
It
hireable.
really isn't that much. I feel like you guys should probably really like licorice because the licorice chart in Germany goes from north to south, and the people in the north really love it, and the people in the south don't. Because when you live closer to the coast, your nose like picks up all the salts and stuff, and you get more used to like the saltiness, I guess.
What? I mean, we're like on the equator line, so.
Well, you're still close to the coast, I guess. Isn't like every other coast? I've never been like at the
I mean, I
south
can drive
coast
to-
somewhere.
Yeah, you can drive to the coast in Cyprus in like an hour from the center of the country where I am, so.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
relatively close. But yeah,
But yeah,
coast people
I
love that.
tried licorice and it's like burnt tire. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like burnt like rubber. It smells and it even looks like that.
Yes, yeah, I was about to say.
I like how someone in the chat is like, what's the Cuphead clone called? Because we're talking about fucking food and licorice the whole time. So let's actually start the episode.
Alright, let's do it. Let's talk about the Cuphead Clone.
First of all, let's introduce Tommy. We've
Right,
got Tommy, Pumpkin Lover, and we've got Simina-Cindy,
Dude, I hate pumpkins.
the
fuck
Dark
off.
Lord.
Oh, thanks. I like that. Yes.
Yes, I like.
Sorry,
Right too.
I should have said MrWoodenSheep,
The White Lord.
the champion. Whatever, let's ignore it.
Be
That's
the
fine.
great.
All right, so Cuphead Clone. I was actually watching today a Jim Sterling video. Simi, do you think you could mute your mic while I talk because it echoes, unfortunately?
Alright, fuck you.
Thank you, bro. So, I was watching a Jim Sterling video today where he actually revealed it. I don't know if you've seen it, Tommy, because I know you watch his channel. But,
I don't. I've seen some of that, I think, but not all.
okay, I mean,
Because Jim likes to ramble a lot about things that don't matter. But,
yeah, that's true. Like a lot of times when I click on his, like even this one, I heard his opinion in the first 2 minutes, and I was like, "There's 5 more minutes left," but I've already heard everything,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna quit.
Pretty much, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he basically mirrored my thoughts on the game. So let me send you a link actually, Tommy, and then we can show it on stream as well. So this is a game called Enchanted Portals, And at first I was like, all right, I mean, you know, it looks kind of like in that style. What is it, 30s to me?
Yeah, it's 30s.
And so I was like, okay, I mean, you know, whatever. But it's you can tell it's kind of like not as good as Cuphead. Obviously, it's like digitally drawn, and like you can see they're dragging some of the animation in this initial cutscene anyway. But when it gets to gameplay, it actually looks really impressive.
It is, yeah.
It looks really good. But I mean, obviously, aside from, because obviously the devs, as Jim said, the devs did not invent this style. So, you know, that's like kind of a fair game, I guess you could say. But the gameplay loop is very obviously stripped from Cuphead. You've got like up to 2 players.
It's not stripped. It's the exact
It's
same
exactly
thing.
the same. They're like shooting, you know, like this. You've got the shotgun shot.
At least they're not. At least they're not. You don't double. Do you double jump in?
No, you
Cuphead?
don't double jump. Did they double jump here?
The thing. Well,
The dash, you mean?
they do like the weird twisty. Like you could double jump in Cuphead if you did. Oh no, that was the clapping. Never mind.
You
That
could,
was like you
yeah,
could do
you
the
parry.
Yeah.
You parry on
thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
But this, I like the characters and shit like are original.
Yeah, they're original, and I felt exactly what Jim Sterling said. It's like, there's clearly effort and skill put into the character designs. It's almost a shame to have made it a clone, because then it's just gonna get this bad rep. Like people, you know how people on the internet are. They're gonna be like, "Fuck this game, I don't care. It's a clone." But they actually put work into it, you know, like it's actually it's impressive. And I found out today that it's only a 2-man dev team, which, like, wow, that's actually really impressive.
That is pretty insane.
Yeah, and what I thought of this, it's like, oh, it's a clone of Cuphead, but I mean, a lot of games do that. Like, there's so many Dark Souls clones, but they're still good. You know, it's kind of unfair. Like, I mean, I get it. It's a fucking obvious ripoff. By the way, this scene with the dog that you're looking at right now, I think that's really funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
And Cuphead doesn't do shit like this.
No, it doesn't.
Like, it's almost like a cutscene. Like, they're laughing at the dog, and then it's funny. Yeah, like, it's like, I get that it's, you know, they copied it, but also it's like, oh, they just want to have a game like this. And what, they can never make a game like this now, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It's a gray area.
You could argue that back in the day, anything that was a first-person shooter was a Doom clone. You know, but now look at first-person shooters now. You know, it's like,
I mean, the difference
that's the
is,
thing now.
I feel like, I mean, maybe it seemed different at the time, but I feel like back then, or looking at the games that people called Doom clones, they were more
like their own spins on it.
Not necessarily, no, not even that. It's just Doom's formula back then was so basic that you can't call it a ripoff. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this is quite
this
specific.
is more specific.
This is
Like,
a big boss. They're flashing even as you shoot them. You've got 2 characters that like jump around. You even do like the somersault. They've got different shot types. I saw that there was a special move, which looked pretty funny, by the way. They like punched it with an extended glove. It's a very obviously the same formula, kind of how like Fortnite was to PUBG. Like, you know, it's like
sort of,
it's obvious.
But like Simi said, with the like, if you have like Dark Souls clones, it's never quite Dark Souls. They always have like a couple mechanics that are like very clearly different.
Yeah.
But here it's like, this is like, they could have at least done something like, I don't know, your weapon overheats, and then like at least make it a little bit different.
We don't know. Like, when we'll play it, we'll see, right?
I guess.
Maybe there's
like,
stuff like that you can't really tell.
it almost looks like it's a fan game.
It almost looks like yeah.
It almost looks like someone made a fan game of Cuphead, but they replaced the characters. Like
a mod.
I feel like I feel like there's been shit like this where people made a game with already existing characters, and then they changed the characters. Like, wasn't it their fucking Dota chess thing?
Yeah, that started off like that. I mean, many things, like TF2 was a mod, or TF1 was a mod of Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, yeah, I mean, they like made new models and stuff. It's basically the same thing.
Here's my take on it. This is the definition of Lidl right here. This is like Lidl. For those of you who don't know, Lidl is a supermarket where there's bootleg foods, like fake Nesquik, for example, and they're usually cheaper, but they're fine. This is that. it's like you get little Cuphead. It's obviously a
Little
ripoff.
Cuphead.
It's obviously a ripoff, but it's not bad. So
Yeah, I think
I think it's okay.
one of the main points to think of is, would this stop people from buying Cuphead?
No.
And would it, like, doesn't look better than Cuphead. It looks almost as good though, I will say. It does, like, in all aspects, I'm saying. Maybe
especially the bosses. Like maybe the characters you play as are like they seem less animated, but the bosses look really good.
Yeah, but my point is, would this remove sales from Cuphead? I think Cuphead still has higher quality overall, and also Cuphead is so cheap anyway. Like, it's only $20.
I mean, is this 60?
I doubt it.
No,
I'm just saying. To me, I want this. Like, it just looks like another Cuphead. It's like how when people want another Zelda, and then they'll buy some Zelda or like Dark Souls. I was feeling like playing Dark Souls. I played The Surge recently. I'll talk about that more later. But yeah, I think it's just a weird gray area. It's kind of like.
I really don't mind it.
Okay, you really don't. Yeah, I think it's fine. It can coexist, and I want it. It looks good. Like, they put effort in. There's still, like, they borrowed very heavily some stuff, but they did also at least make original characters. Like this lady on the moon. Like, at least they could have also done like a blimp person, a bird person.
And also, like, did you see that boss? The way the things in the background like hit you.
Yeah.
Like the like not only the way the bosses look, but the way they play is original.
Yeah, like
too.
this tombstone flattens the character, and I assume you can't shoot, maybe not even jump for a while. So.
Yeah, like that. There's some, and even this scene, like you're a mermaid, you're floating.
Well, that's
around
the equivalent of the plane.
That's like the plane. I guess.
Too, yeah.
But they're here it's a broom. Yeah, like they definitely made some different things, and because usually ripoffs that are so obvious, they're usually bad, where it's like some half-assed, rushed thing. But this is like actually like this is actually has effort in it. It looks really good. So
here's like one point though that I want to make is if you would make let's say like a PUBG clone again, and even if you mix it up now, like, it doesn't matter. There's already a million of them. But there's not really many games out there that are similar to Cuphead.
Yeah.
Like, you have platformers and stuff, and
but someone needs to
none
start
of them
that.
are really like
right.
boss rush games or something like that. Yeah, like it's, I don't know. It's just a filler, I would say. People that wanted Cuphead and wanted more Cuphead, well, there you have it.
Yeah. So like us.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's called Enchanted Portals. If anybody wants to kickstart it, because that's what they're planning to do.
Oh, right. It's not even available to buy yet.
On Kickstarter, October 24th, PC and Nintendo Switch. I mean, yeah, sure.
There
if you want to go support it, go ahead. I'm like.
I almost feel. I feel like even the devs of Cuphead wouldn't be upset by this. If anything, they would feel honored that someone's trying to make.
It depends on the
like
personality. I can understand someone being like, I thought of all this shit and you ripped it. I can see myself feeling that way.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, like you said, it's a gray area. Like, on one hand, it's like, rip off, but also it's good, so whatever,
Yeah.
I like the top comment on that video. New genre, cup-like. I like it.
Honestly, I can see that becoming a thing. Because roguelike is a thing, right?
Yeah, but it's so dumb. At least like rogue is kind of like, kind of is video gamey, but cup-like.
Cup-like or head-like, and then you just make different things that are heads, people, like chair head.
Chair head. Oh my god. I want to make like a side thing. Speaking of that, it's kind of annoying. Like I love Cuphead, but people are so fucking narrow-minded. Because obviously this style is so old. It's from the 30s, but now everything that's in that style, it's like Cuphead. No, it's not. It's like this fucking old-ass thing that existed before you were born.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also, not only that, but people like cartoon characters with object heads have existed for ages, and not even only in that style, but like fucking Parappa the Rapper has that shit.
Well, I mean, these are just wizards, so they don't even fit into that.
No, forget this clone. I'm saying because like, if I make a character now whose head is a thing, they're gonna be like, Cuphead.
Oh yeah, that's been there forever.
But it's like, bro, look at all these other old ass shit. Like, Come on, man. I don't know. Just it was like that when fucking Avatar came out and it was super popular. Every blue alien ever was a ripoff of Avatar somehow, even though it came out before. You know, and people just are so blinded by being a fan of something.
Speaking of the Battle Royale train, did you know that Civilization 6 got a Battle Royale mode?
You're not serious, are you? Oh my god. Where we dropping, boys?
So I don't. It's
let's drop in China. I'm gonna drop in Egypt.
So I don't know the specifics. I haven't played Civ 6 yet, and I haven't played this mode. But basically, it's a post-apocalyptic mode. It seems like, yeah, you can see all these like Mad Maxy units, and the leaders are like look at this chick. She looks crazy, or guy. I don't know. They have like a snake tongue kind of thing going.
Mr. One Eye Man.
And yeah, basically the zone actually you can see closes in onto the players, and yeah. But
you should show it in the podcast.
Oh, am I not doing that this whole time?
Yeah, that's why I was pointing. I was pointing at your screen. You're not
showing. Here you go. Sorry, guys. Yeah, here you go. You can see post-apocalyptic. That's a unit. Here are like some of the people. Look at this ghoul with one eye. You've got this person, snake-tongued person.
I mean, to be fair, there are people.
Yeah, I know. Of course, yeah. I'm just saying that's kind of also a post-apocalyptic look. And you see the zone closes in here. This is the border, and yeah, one civilization with a battle royale mode. But I'm gonna assume it's deathmatch, which sounds a bit lame. Like I like to play Civ because of the choices of different victories, but who knows? I haven't played it. I mean, dude, I thought it was ridiculous when Battle Right got a battle royale mode, but now Civ 6.
I'm honestly super surprised that Civ 6 got a battle royale mode before Overwatch did.
Yeah, they said that they said they'll consider it for Overwatch.
I know, and in Overwatch it works way more because it's already a shooter, you know.
Yeah, it can work like really well in some games. Like I played the Battle Royale mode in League of Legends. Holy shit, that was so much fun. I want to have that back.
Oh, it was a temporary thing.
Yeah, they did a temporary thing, and they usually well, I will go on for too long, but they usually make like an event that's called Earth, where you get all abilities. You have the same in Overwatch, where like all abilities are reduced. The cooldown is reduced, mana costs are 0, and you can just spam the fuck out of everything. And they added that with like some other crazy shit, and you get like a random event throughout your like 20-30 minute games. And there was one where you would like duel and everybody else watches, which was really cool, and then the winner team gets like a thing. And the other one was Battle Royale, literally just a zone coming in the middle of the game, and then the last team wins and gets a bonus, and then the game is reset. Just keep playing.
To be fair, the Battle Royale, there's elements that are really exciting about it, like, you know, last person standing and the closing in thing. So I kind of don't blame devs for... It's just we got tired of it because everything was doing it. But there is definitely an appeal.
Okay, here, hot take, Cuphead Battle Royale.
Dude, how many players?
2.
Okay, and do you fight a boss still?
I don't
You didn't even think of it. You're just like, Cuphead Battle Royale.
I know. Because it's a fucking joke. That's why. Because we were.
I think
we were talking about
Space Invaders Battle Royale would work even better.
Oh hell
than
yeah!
I mean, Space Invaders Battle Royale.
Actually, you can only move left and right, so that would be
okay. Yeah,
weird.
give a little bit more control. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
I think it would kind of be fun in like Super Meat Boy or some platformer, or like where you try and traverse through the geometry and like fit in somewhere in a small space. I don't know. I think it could be fun.
I mean, they did it with CS:GO, and they did a really good job.
Yeah, they actually really innovated.
That unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very different.
I still really like what's it called? Darwin Project. Like it's
Darwin Project had a really good mix of like making things unique to the game and and still keeping the old stuff. Yeah, Darwin Project's a good game, dude. I haven't played it in so long.
Yeah, we should. It's just everyone's kicking. It's gonna kick our asses.
Yeah,
now.
It'll take a while. But that axe swing, like, just it felt so good, man. When you fly away.
Yeah, I love the hitting sound as well. Just like.
And it was cool. Like you track one person. Yeah, that was a fun. That was a really fun game.
And I like that it's not one big zone; it's many small zones, and you just
yeah, that's apparently how it was in the original book or movie. Movie. Actually, I don't know if the original movie was based off a book. Anyway, yeah, apparently the battle royale thing that all this started from was there were zones that got eliminated. Yeah, it's cool. Since we're on battle royale, I saw something yesterday. I never talk about Fortnite because none of us here play it, and it's always being talked about. But I thought this was so interesting. Like they're always doing weird, cool stuff. But did you guys see that yesterday? Fortnite did some like end of the world thing where every player basically just got sucked into a black hole, including the map. So this is I'm watching a video from Kenworth, and you can see like everyone just got launched into the sky, and then the whole map just starts getting sucked into a black hole. And after that, the game was just not playable. I don't know if it's still playable yet. Like, look at this. It looks... what a spectacle.
I mean, they always make...
Like, yeah, but this is really...
That looks so cool.
It looks... Imagine just playing your match. You're on an amazing kill streak. You're like, dude, I'm gonna set a new world record.
And then you get sucked in a fucking black hole. And, like, the game got...
Yeah, the game gets sucked into the black hole. And then people were just left with this screen. And you can just exit. But even more interestingly enough, people who were in the main menu also saw something like this. Here, Tommy, you can scroll down on this PC Gamer article, and it's like a Twitter thing from the devs. Can people see this right now? Yeah, kind of. This guy was just in the main menu, and it says error down there in the HUD.
Yeah, I can see it.
And it looks fucking crazy. Look at the player model just fly away. I love that. I don't know what any of this means. I don't play Fortnite.
I wonder if it's to do with the... I mean, it would be a bit late if it is to do with the photo of the black hole that we got. I mean, that was a while ago, so I don't know. Maybe this is their cool way of doing server maintenance.
I was thinking that too. Like, sorry guys, we went bankrupt. Servers are down. Game's over.
I mean, yes, I've heard of this, and I've seen like a very not safe for work video on this, like kind of what went pretty viral. But yeah,
not safe for work on this? Can you can tell me what? Like, I'm not gonna show it.
Oh my god. Okay, well, like some Spanish streamer or some Spanish YouTuber started streaming, and on this like second stream, they showed like, oh, this is the black hole, and like he was on Twitter, watched like some random ass video about it, and then they like turned the camera to the side, and it's just some guy mooning, but like he spread the cheeks too.
What the fuck? Is that his black hole?
That was the joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, they always do like crazy shit like this. I don't know if you guys like seen this at all, but when I don't keep up with Avengers, but it's like Infinity War or something when Thanos came out for the first time.
Right.
They had like an event where sometimes randomly in a map they would drop pretty much like it was the exact same thing. It was an Infinity Gauntlet, and that player would turn into Thanos and would like run around and punch people to death. It was super OP.
Sounds like the guy from TF2.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Saxton Hale.
Yeah, like that. Except that wasn't random.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
That's like a really cool thing, and they do this stuff apparently like all the time.
Yeah, that kind of stuff makes me want to play Fortnite, but when I played it, I just couldn't get into it.
And I remember they one time did this thing where there's some burger or something in the game, and then it was in real life, and someone found it in some random ass desert.
Yeah.
Like what the hell? That's so weird.
It was some ARG or something, I don't know. But yeah, those guys are doing cool stuff. I mean, regardless of the people saying that they're overworked and all that, I'm just saying what they produce is like really interesting, and the fact that it's all the time.
Yeah.
Who the fuck found, like, who went to this middle of nowhere desert and found? Did they just how?
We don't know the whole context. Like I don't remember enough.
Yeah, maybe there were clues or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool though. But yeah, I don't like playing the game, so too fucking bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wanted to point out, for those of you that don't know, I put up a new Siege video yesterday. I thought it was a pretty good one with 2017 clips, because that's how I do it here.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm sure I'm gonna get comments. Like, I don't know, people get upset that the new characters aren't in the video. Like, why does it matter? The compilation is a funny moments thing. It shouldn't matter at all. But
or like when they get upset that it's not ranked.
Yeah, with Tommy.
Oh, what's the point? Like how Tommy showed me his fucking some shit he gets, and it's like, bro, like calm down. Like people get so upset about it. They call him so many ugly names and shit just because he's not playing ranked. Like, come on.
So stupid.
These must be kids, right? They have to be.
I don't know, man.
I don't want to imagine a grown ass person saying shit like that
Ooh.
for this.
I've seen it on the internet. Don't worry about it. Those people are grown ups. Some of them, but not very smart ones.
It's really sad.
I actually wanted to say this last time. I didn't get to. When the Siege character was announced, the grappling hook one, I actually predicted that. I don't remember if I said that on the podcast or not. And I don't know. I'm just annoyed. I wish I like posted that somewhere. I don't. Maybe I have, but I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of obvious. Like, at some point, they kind of have to do something like that.
Sure. Yeah, I guess. I also predicted the new Armello characters, but that was kind of like Easter egged in the main menu, but I didn't see a single other thread pointing it out. I don't know if you... Tell me, did you like Armello? I don't remember.
It was okay. It's not like my favorite game, but I'll play it now and then.
Yeah, they released a new faction, which was like reptiles and... Yeah, I like a turtle character and stuff. I really wanted that. Although I jokingly said that the turtle character should have, what was it, like 20 HP, but only 1 AP per turn so they can walk. That would obviously not work.
You mean more AP and less HP?
No, why would that make sense for a turtle? The other way around.
Oh, 20 HP, right. Yeah. I forget that in this game, 20 HP is a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, there you go.
But yeah, the Easter egg you're talking about, like in the main menu picture that they updated months, like maybe like even more than a year ago.
Yeah.
You can see some reptile characters, and I was convinced that they were just background characters from like cards and shit. But you are like, no,
yeah,
man,
I was like,
too specific.
The design in them is a bit too specific. It's like just like an old mural painting style. It's really vague, and I'm very smart for deciphering it.
And now that we see the characters, I can see like it's them, because like one of the reptile, like in the mural, one of the reptiles is like, it's two of it that look exactly the same, and one of the characters can clone itself. So it's obviously that, and you can see the turtle, you can see the one with the whip and shit, and it's like I was like mind blown, because I was like, nah, again, it's just seeing things like this is for sure just some background shit, but nope, it's literally like it's 100% the characters, and I was like mind blown by that.
I love when devs plant things. This one's a bit different, but like when devs plant something years before for like a sequel. Like in BioShock, I won't go into specifics.
Yes! Yeah, I was thinking of that.
Have you played BioShock, Tommy?
Yeah, I have played one. Didn't like it that much.
Okay, I'm not gonna say any specifics. People might want to still play it because I love those games. But yeah, they planted and like it's so hidden, but it's a thing that's in the first game that you hear, and it's in the last game, and it's like it's so cool. I can't really go into more detail without spoiling stuff, but it's so cool.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's basically something that kind of connects everything, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a very cool, tiny hidden Easter egg, and I love. I'm trying to think what else. Batman did that. Arkham City. You know, I don't know if you played the Arkham games, Tommy.
One, but I don't remember which. Everybody said it was the worst one. I don't care. You can spoil.
Yeah, no, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler at all. I was just gonna say that in the Arkham games, you can like spray a gel, and Batman for some reason takes time to spray his little bat symbol, and then you can blow up some walls, and you can see the breakable walls in X-ray vision. But in the first game, there was a wall that was not showing up in the X-ray vision, and months after the game came out, nobody had found it, and the devs were like, there's a secret hidden room somewhere, people need to try and find it, and eventually they found it, and it shows plans of Arkham City, like the sequel, but that was in the game, like I don't know if maybe not from the beginning, but I don't know. Anyway, I love stuff like that, like when you go back and find something.
I love shit like that. This is not exactly the same, but Portal kind of did this, like when Portal 2 was not it wasn't announced, but they started putting shit in Portal 1 that hinted at it.
Yeah, that was
way after.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of similar in some way, like, because they didn't announce that they're making Portal 2. Nobody expected a Portal 2, and then suddenly in Portal 1, these random radios appeared, and everyone was like, "The fuck is this?" And they like did a Morse code thing, or something. Yeah, it wasn't. I think it wasn't Morse code actually. It was a thing where you can put in a software and it translates the sound into an image.
Yeah,
I don't know
how.
Who the fuck figure it out? It must be someone who knows this shit and recognized the sound. Because they put the images in, and it was like these blurry images of the Portal 2 robots.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Whoa, what does this mean?"
I love that shit, man. I love that shit.
Dude, they're probably gonna do that for Half-Life. They're probably gonna put some secret shit, new shit in Half-Life 2
I hope
that
so.
hit at a new.
Yeah, but
like, maybe the blinking thing is.
Yeah, people always. I mean, like Half-Life 2, Tommy, recently got patched to allow NPCs to blink again, because there was a glitch that got introduced like 5 years ago, and NPCs haven't been blinking since like 5 years ago. So their eyes are really dry, and Valve was like, "We need to put an end to this," and they patched it now. And people are like, "Half-Life 3, like, let's count how many times they blink. 3 times." But yeah,
I love that shit.
yeah, that stuff's fun.
Wasn't that like, I don't remember. There was like one game I played. I think it might have actually been Siege, where the devs put in like pretty much riddles into the game about future updates. I think it may have been Siege, but
Siege, they didn't do riddle. They like did a poster or something which would show the next map or something like that. I remember stuff like that.
There was stuff that people would like try to riddle out for like weeks and months together.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it was.
I remember something. I don't remember if this is related to what you're saying, but I just remember there's a secret room in Siege where you can only get in there with drones.
Yeah, that was cool.
And there were like some shadows or something.
That's just an Easter egg, though.
Yeah, but was that relevant to any new update or future?
No.
Or was it just... Well, what was it even?
It was just some rubble that if you look at the right angle, it like created a shadow of the poster, I think.
Right, yeah.
Like
that was
people
it.
busting through the wall or whatever. It's a really cool Easter egg, yeah.
That's... What map was it?
The tower, the really tall tower.
Oh, the Japanese map.
Yeah.
Or was it Japanese? No, it wasn't Japanese.
No, it was,
Korean.
Korean.
South Korean? Yeah.
Probably South Korean, but I don't know.
I would assume they're not in North Korea.
Well, okay, let's ask if they like licorice in that tower, and then we'll know, you know.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Oh my god.
Alright, so I want to get to the meat of the reason I was like, I want because look, it's like a sandwich time, because I've got so many positive, good topics to talk about afterwards. And
now we're putting a turd in there.
Yeah, we're throwing a small turd. It's also a funny story. It's also very aggravating.
It's a funny turd. It's like it's
got a
shaped
smiley
all
face
funny.
on it. But also, I think it's just I think it's also a good thing to talk about. And whenever it's like I don't know. I wanted to talk about. I think it's gonna be therapeutic for me and Simi, even though we went back and forth many times. Like, should we? We don't want to stoke the fires again and stuff. Whatever. So I censored everyone's name that's related to it, because I don't want to. Even
so excited.
Even though they don't deserve that, honestly, they didn't give us the same courtesy of privacy and whatever. But I still wanted to talk about it and.
Yeah, like we want to just have it out there so we can just, like Genna said, like it's the last page of the book.
Like I want to transfer the data from my brain to this podcast so I can forget all the details and stop being so upset or depressed about it. And then it's like, if I ever want to refer to it, I can come to this video, but I don't ever need to think of it again.
Yeah.
So,
I can just link. You can just link it to someone like, hey, want to know this shitty thing? Here's the video. I don't need to talk about it anymore.
All right, so
because I've talked about this a million times with Genna and my friend and shit, and it's just like, it keeps coming back.
All right, so basically, it all started. It started yesterday. I was reading I'm not gonna go.
Well, no, it didn't start yesterday.
Well, yeah. Let me
restarted.
It restarted yesterday. I was reading an article. I won't go into specifics because I don't want this person, because I don't even know if this person is related to this thing. But basically, there was an article on a game dev, and it was like, this thing benefited this game dev a lot. Look, cool. And the game dev posted a screenshot from Twitter. It linked to their tweet where there was a screenshot, and they were like, whoa, look how many more eyes are on my game now because of this thing. And I was like, cool, I wonder what they made. And I clicked on their Twitter, and I was like, it says I'm blocked. And I was thinking to myself, like, what could I have possibly done to block this person? I don't share controversial opinions. On my Twitter especially, I just post my videos and that's it. I move on. Like, I've never spoken about topics before. Like, topics. I was like, why would I be blocked? And I kept thinking, and I checked incognito. It was unblocked. I sent it to Simi. She's unblocked. So I was like, what the fuck did I do to this person? Like, I felt offended. Like, did I? How?
Yeah, like you. Once you saw their Twitter on my screen, you're like, and you saw the game they made. You're like, I've never heard of this person. Never heard of their game in my life. How the fuck am I blocked?
It was really. It's such a shitty feeling to be blocked for something you don't even know. Like, because usually you would. I don't know. To me, the block function is for someone who is harassing you. I would never block someone who I have a different opinion to. That's me personally. I don't think the block function is there for that. The block is if you don't want to see someone's posts. But like, I guess if they have a different opinion.
Well, you can mute people too.
Yeah. It was just so weird to me. Like, I've never like said anything. I've never talked to this person, and to be blocked, it's like, what? But okay, I was like, maybe they're moody, and we looked at their tweets, and they're pretty dramatic and aggressive and stuff. And I thought to myself, I was like really trying to dig. I was like, the only one negative interaction I can think of, past the typical internet argument where, you like say, fuck you, no, Call of Duty's better, right? The only real argument I had was like 2-3 months ago.
It was August.
It was August. And very undeserved, I would say, but you can hear my side of the story now. So basically, a few months ago, I don't know if you remember, Tommy, I talked about a game called Smile For Me.
I remember that.
Really loved that game. Like, I think I was the first person to review it. The dev even saw my review, and they were like, oh, thanks, the good stuff, and it made me really happy, because the game is it's really great. The characters are so funny, it's emotional, it's dark, and it's unique.
It's funny.
I said funny, yeah.
Did you?
I think so.
Oh, you said the characters are funny.
But yeah, really, we really love that game. And Simi liked the characters so much that she was like, oh, I want to draw them, I want to talk about them and stuff like that. So she joined some Discord servers where people were talking. Is this the next thing that happened? Yeah. So basically, she joined some Discord, and that was the end of it for me. I was like, I love the game. I talked about it in the podcast. I did a video review, and that was it. Simi joined some Discord servers. And you want to tell from here? Like, I mean, it's your...
How do I even start? Okay, so... Yeah, I joined the Discord server, but that, by the way, just saying it was 18 plus, okay? So no... Supposedly no kids
Well, you want to say why you did that? Because you were joining...
Yeah,
you joined other Discord servers, because Simi had, like, thought some characters were hot from the game. I think we've all been there, wouldn't mind...
I just wanted to be able to freely talk dirty stuff without being like, oh, there's kids
or like
here,
share pictures and shit, because it's one of those fandoms where everyone's horny as fuck, and but
there's also a lot of kids who like it too,
it's kind
it's like,
yeah, it's like divisive. Like, it's kind of like what other examples are there? Like Undertale, My Little Pony, shit like that. Like, there's a half of the community which is like and then there's other half who like just wants to enjoy it. And so Simi was kind of in the but you didn't only have the hots for the characters. It was like you loved the game. But you wanted the freedom.
I'm in the middle.
You wanted the freedom of being able to
like, and dude, people in that server were really, holy shit, like chill,
like times 2. Like really crazy.
But that's not the point. God,
I can. So you want me to take over? Like, basically.
Okay. So in the server, everyone seemed cool and friendly.
Yeah.
And although I could tell that I wouldn't click with these people, and that's fine. Not everyone clicks, like, because they are in a certain way that I can't really go into now. They're just a certain kind of people that I just can't really get along with. Like, I can't be friends with them, but I'm okay with talking to them every now and then,
Yeah.
And they seemed cool, and they liked me, and we talked every day. It was all fun and games.
For how long? For how long? Like
a few weeks.
One month, maybe, I would say, even.
Maybe a month. Like, everyone thought I was funny. Everyone thought my dirty thoughts were cool.
Like, everyone was really really supportive of Simi. Like every time I saw something from her discussions, it was like she was the one starting discussions that were either funny or interesting or hot, and everyone was on board. You know, like
well, not everyone, but
right, sure,
a lot of people. Yeah, and then this is where the shitstorm began.
Oh boy,
and I think Tommy knows a bit of this.
A little bit.
So okay, so
I
there's
remember I fixed it for you.
no, not that.
No.
Forget that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's about
okay.
the same. It's not the same character though. So in the game, there's a character who is Indian, and he's my favorite character, dude. I love him. He's cute and hot and funny and all of that shit, and just he's a good character. And I made a comic that I thought was fucking hilarious or just funny, where because it's a comic.
Let me show the comic.
Yeah.
You want to do
Oh
a
shit! You wanna get banned on YouTube?
You want to do a pre-thing before?
I just want to say that it's a comic that has multiple layers. Like the joke has multiple layers, and I guess people missed it because no, you can show it now.
Okay.
So I can and send it to Tommy so he can go along.
I'm just gonna.
No. Just
I can follow on the stream too. Don't worry.
I'll do it like this. No, like I mean, we can just read out the comic even.
you should zoom in.
I'll post it here. Here you go, Tommy. There it is for you, and I'm gonna post it. I'm just gonna show my display. Let me hide my porn, and then. Okay, so we've got here. Where's the button? Where's the button? Entire display. Okay, there it is. So.
Alright, zoom in.
So here's the comic. The guy is called Kamal, Kamal, Indian name.
Yeah.
And
it means lotus, which I discovered.
All right.
Which is relevant to the game. So yeah, his name is Kamal,
and this other guy is called Parsley.
Yeah, and this other guy is called Parsley. And
well, let's just read out the comic. Let's read out the comic.
Yeah. Okay. So Parsley says, "Hey, Camel," like he calls him Camel instead of Kamal.
Like a American kind of like, because Americans always mispronounce. It's kind of weird to explain every joke in every frame, but Americans always mispronounce names. They're like Iraq, and if they see me Genna, they're like Gina, you know, like that's just the thing.
Exactly. So that's the joke here. That
people with
Parsley,
foreign names know this. They suffer it many times.
Yeah. Even me.
Yeah.
And Kamal's like, it's Kamal, and he's like, yeah, whatever. Can you fix my pager? It won't work. And Kamal's like, wow, that's racist. You think just because I'm Indian that I'm some tech support guy? And Parsley's like, and he's like, basically like, oh shit, what have I done? You know, and there's just a bit of awkward silence between the two of them. And then at the end, Kamal sighs and he's like, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Like,
So the fact that people got offended by this blew my mind. Because first of all, I'm making fun of racist people in this comic.
Or assumptive people, ignorant people, we should say. Like, it's not necessarily that he's racist, but it's like it's such a dumb assumption to make just because he's an Indian guy. You know, that's the stereotype, right?
Like the joke, I'm making fun of people who would see an Indian and instantly assume they're tech support. Like that's like here, Parsley is the dumbass, and I'm making fun of him. And sure, he's not like this in the game or anything, but I just had this idea, or whatever. And I was like, lol, he's a dumbass, whatever. And then people got offended because the punchline is that, oh, he is tech support, but
that wasn't what they got offended by. They got offended by, to quote, "lol, racism is the punchline," and it's like, it's not that simple.
Yeah, just because it's about racism doesn't mean it is racist, you know?
Yeah, and it's such a stretch to call racism on something like this. It's such a stretch.
And wait, I want to explain the other layers of the joke.
Yeah,
another layer of the joke, like, so the first layer
I think
is
most
that,
normal people reading this would understand the explanation, but just
I know,
for people
but
who
whatever, I'm just saying. So yeah, the first layer of the joke is that Parsley is a dumbass and assumes Kamal is tech support because he's Indian. The other layer is people who don't realize that this is more towards the viewers rather than the characters. Like, some stereotypes exist for a reason. There are a lot of Indian tech support people, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad
if anything,
thing.
it's a positive thing. It's like saying they're so tech savvy and
they're smart.
Yeah, like Simi was telling me the other day how she watched a support video on YouTube on how to do something, and it was just an Indian kid, but he was so knowledgeable and helpful, and he produced a good tutorial. It's like, cool.
Like I had to do some form for some bullshit, and I was like, oh my god, what? How do I write this? What do I do? And I looked it up, and it's just some Indian, not kid, but he was like a teenager, but yeah, he was like so smart and like explained everything. And I was like, yes, thank you.
And I think one really important distinction to make that I said yesterday, I think it's a really good way of wording it. It's weird to assume every Indian is a tech support, but it's not that weird to assume every tech support is Indian. Now, obviously, it's far from all of them, or even a huge like majority or something. But there is no denying that, most of the times when I've been called by tech support, or if I call tech support myself, they're Indian, man. Like, what can I say? And I mean, other stereotypes exist too. Like, I was telling Simina, in Cyprus, which is where I'm from, like, Cypriots are all accountants and mathematicians, mostly accountants. Like, they work with fucking money, and in Greece as well, ironically enough, even though they go bankrupt every month. But that's just the stereotype. And Germany is known for its medicine, and India is known for Germany. Yeah, like, doctors go to study for medicine. I mean, in Germany, it's one of the highest esteemed places in the world for medicine.
At least it used to be. Maybe it's not like that now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe you haven't heard that. Maybe it's not true, and maybe as a German you don't know that. But the reason I would be exposed to that is because I've gone to doctors from England, Cyprus, Greece, and they studied in Germany. Like, I know that they went out to go study in Germany. Maybe you've gone to doctors you're in Germany and they study in Germany, right? Like, it's where they're from. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I see how I would be exposed to that and not you. And whether these are true or not, these are just the stereotypes. But I mean, yeah, growing up in Cyprus, everyone's a fucking accountant, man. Everybody. And I mean, there's so many stereotypes. And yeah, one of them, India, people know is incredibly advanced in technology. They're going like at a higher rate than anyone else that I can think of. Or they're one of the highest. Like, do you know that, Tommy, as well? Like, is that something you recognize as well?
No, not really.
No.
To be fair, you don't really hear much about Cyprus.
No, I'm talking about India. Now.
Oh, about India.
That they're super advanced in technology, and they're advancing at a very fast rate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that is a commonly known thing. And acknowledging a stereotype, I don't think you acknowledge it. You're not even saying you agree with it in the comic, number one. And number two, acknowledging it, there's nothing wrong with that. And some stereotypes are true, some of them are not. And they usually stem from something, right? And this one isn't, and even if you acknowledge this one and it's and you think it's true, it's not even a negative one. There's nothing negative, there's nothing wrong with working tech support.
I'm not fucking saying they're dirty or some shit. I'm just saying they're tech support. I was saying, so the second layer of the joke is that people don't understand that some stereotypes have some truth to them, where there are a lot of Indian tech support. And then, honestly, the last joke is just how tech support people always fucking start with, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Yeah, and even without tech support, that's like the first thing you do when you're troubleshooting something at home, even. Like, yeah.
To be fair, that's kind of, like, I can definitely see how it's like, wait, you're the stereotype, right? And then the other person says, oh, that's racist. And then the ending is, wait, I am the stereotype.
Yeah, but not necessarily, I mean, he hasn't gone into super detail here. You don't know if, that's what I'm saying. To me, the way I read the comic, I thought he was just a normal human. Like, he knows more than Parsley, and so he's like, okay, the first step, have you even tried turning it off and on again? But
to be fair, I read into it like I just said, kind of a little bit more
like that he ends up actually being. But even with that, even if that's a joke, even if maybe Simi, I don't know if you did.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Like,
I don't think it really is.
The joke was that it's a twist, kind of.
Yeah.
Where, because he's like upset the whole time, and then it's like, lol, he is this thing, you know. And it's just meant to, like, it's just funny, like, it's just a joke, man. You know.
But even if you replace, sorry, Tommy, go on.
No, just really quick. Like, if you I think it's people only get upset about it because it's Indians and they're like they're kind of like already being racially profiled.
Yeah, that's I was gonna boil it down to that. Yeah.
If you were to do the exact same thing with Germans and be like, some German walks in, it's like, hey, do you have a big sausage with you? And then they like open their jacket, and they have like 8 sausages hanging from each side. Like it would be the same
That's
joke.
Exactly what I was. That's exactly what I was telling Simi.
That's still funny.
Yeah, or like yeah,
it is.
I think the difference. What I was gonna say the same. It's like people racially profile all sorts of nationalities all the time, but because they're white nationalities, they also haven't been like American. Because I'm gonna be honest, it's Americans doing this stuff usually, like getting offended for Indians or whatever other minorities, and Americans have never really had racism towards Swedes, French people, Germans. It's never been like real racism, like where those minorities come into the country and they're prejudiced against. So I think it's just Americans really like having a knee-jerk reaction to compensate for the actual racism they've had. Because I'm also half Lebanese, so growing up playing video games, the Arabs are always the bad guys, and it was just like that. And you see, like, that offended me. It really did offend me. It didn't offend me. It was just like, oh yeah, of course the fucking Arabs are the bad guys again.
To be fair, we're kind of in the same boat here with the Germans.
Yeah.
And Russia.
And I mean, but the thing is though, I mean, you know, Arabs did commit bad shit. Germans did commit bad shit at some point, but it just got a bit tiring, and it was especially annoying to hear like my friends on Xbox or comments on the new Siege character should be Arabic and have a suicide bomb. And it's like, and it was so like, man, like the way they talked, like everyone just assumed that all Arabs were terrorists, you know, stuff like that. And then yeah, when people got over Arabs being the bad guys, my other half of nationality is Russian. So, and then the Russians became the bad guys. So I was always in the bad guy boat my whole life. Like, that is a truly harmful stereotype. And you can see that in America. Like, you know, in America, people are racist against Arabs or whatever. And now people are really trying to compensate for that. And yeah, I will not deny that Indians, like, wherever they go in the world, like even in Cyprus, there are Indians that come here, and there are like in Cyprus people are pretty tolerant, like they respect people, but there are definitely those who are kind of like like I used to have a friend who he's rich, and his mom had maids, and there was like Indian and Filipino, and they were really nice ladies, but they always had to call his mom madam, and it was like gross, kind of like, I don't know if it's kind of like, I don't know if she even instilled that rule. I don't even know if it would have been the same if they were white or not. But it was kind of like, like they're humans, just, you know. And
I think that's just the rich people thing in general.
Yeah, maybe, but that's a harmful thing. So this is not honestly, if you even replace this without a racial stereotype thing, like just it's an assumptive joke. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, like I don't know, a girl, and you assume I'm a girl, I'm gonna wear makeup, and then she actually does. Although I guess that's also kind of like a topic. You assume, I mean, I guess they're all like kind of racial shits. I'm trying to think. I guess it's like a fucking tree person who you expect me to drink water just because I'm a plant, and then he actually drinks it. It's kind of like, that's the joke. The joke is that the guy is like, fuck you, why'd you assume that? It's wrong to assume. And then it actually turns out to be the case. Like, you know, there's like layers to it. I don't know if that's a good example. I think it's okay. But the point is that...
Yeah.
The point is, regardless of race, but I think these people hear race, or they feel, you know, the topic is race, and they immediately like, I need to protect these people because I need to make up for what America has done all this time. We've been racist, whatever. Compensate.
But the thing that upsets me, and I think you have screenshots to show this thing, is they are... What?
I mean, don't go too far ahead. I want to go in order.
Where are you gonna go to next? I forgot about the actual story. Okay, so I did this comic, and many people liked it, but many people were like, "What the fuck, racist?"
No, what I would say, all the comments you got were positive, and then maybe, I don't know if people didn't like it, but they didn't comment. What happened was one person came into the server and expressed...
No. Wait. First,
okay.
I know it's messy.
Yeah.
So first things first, on DeviantArt, I got a comment on this
one
picture.
Comment, yeah, you're right.
And just, you can just tell what these people are like from the way they commented and the way they answered next. They just said racist didn't laugh. and then
I have it here. I won't show their names. Is it bottom is the first, Simi? Or top is the first? Yeah, they just said racist didn't laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
that's fine to say, but then I responded like a normal person, and I said the comic about a racist character is not a racist comic. And then they just replied with the same thing again. They just said racist didn't laugh, like a fucking parrot.
You can, yeah, it's very like I've taken my stance. I'm not gonna consider your opinion at all. And I mean, I think it's healthy to have an open mind to anything. Like, I mean, I'll listen to a flat earther despite how strongly I believe that we're on a round earth, right? If someone comes to me and they really want to try and tell me their side of it, I'm gonna be like, look, maybe you're right. Let me listen. And these people don't have that at all. And you know, this is something even less. It's not proven by scientists, kind of thing.
Unfortunately, these kind of people, which is again mostly Americans, mostly in these fucking artsy, gamey circles.
Wait, are you stereotyping Americans? Holy shit,
honestly, it's probably the only. It's probably the only stereotype I actually subconsciously find myself like expecting.
It's really sad. Like, I don't want to be like that, but they just keep.
But the thing is, this is a very common way to feel in Europe. Sorry to say to our American friends, like it's just society and the way people act and talk is very different in Europe. And I mean,
Americans are batshit crazy. That's it.
I mean, sometimes they can be. And by the way, Europeans can be really terrible in other ways as well. That's the way the world is. Everyone's got their shit and good, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But I mean, that's why you always hear the stereotype, like, of a French person, like, American, in a movie. Like, I think Widowmaker says that, right?
Widowmaker,
when she kills
McCree.
Fucking American.
or any other American characters.
So...
Oh my god, imagine McCree was Indian.
Oh,
no. Well, yeah. Yeah, Indians. Like if she kills Symmetra, you know, like then people would be upset.
Some like African country.
Sorry, it's funny. Symmetra is the fucking technology person.
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, like
I was thinking, like when you were talking earlier about India and technology and shit, I was thinking of Symmetra.
I mean, it's a thing. If you do your research, you will see. This is a known thing. Statistics show this, that India is very technologically advanced and centric. But yeah, where were we about this? Yeah, just that they kind of like.
So I responded to these people. Whatever, it's a long ass conversation. It doesn't really matter. Just it's me and Genna trying to explain our points.
We didn't like really. We weren't like replying every single time. It was just kind of like we said one thing, a thought out thing. We were like, blah blah blah, whatever. And they respond like a dismissive way.
And we weren't like assholes. We didn't call them like I could have easily been like piss off. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. But I didn't because I'm not a fucking troglodyte. And I just said, sorry. And I just said like, this is my opinion. And they just repeated. They have this like I don't give a shit. Fuck you. They're like,
they're always right.
They can't. Yeah, I was gonna say these kind of people, which are most of the times American, most of the times in the same artsy circles like me and shit.
I wouldn't even say that. No.
Wait.
Yeah, I was gonna agree with Tommy here. That characteristic can be in any person.
Yeah. It's just people in general, I guess, because I've met many people like this where they can't even begin to comprehend the idea of listening to someone's opinion. You know what I mean?
I don't want to be wrong.
They don't realize that. From my point of view, I'm 100% right, and they're crazy, and I could be talking to them like this, but I still give them the benefit of that. And I always, if many people tell me something, I'm like, am I the one who's wrong? Like, I do think about it, I do consider it, and that's why I'm happy to have Tommy here as well, because although you're sound of mind and logical, and we'll probably agree on most things, there are many things that we disagree on. And you would like you're not a yes man here. Like I'm sure that if you disagree with something like you just did, you'll be like, I'm not so sure about that, and that shows.
I disagree.
You disagree that you'll do that, yeah. It's like we want to try to keep it level here, and even Simi, like, trust me, I disagree with a lot of things with Simi, and actually even relating to this, but we can go into it later. I did tell her that about something, and she kind of agreed in the end. She changed her mind. So I don't see this from these people, and that's the sad part. That like no matter how hard you try,
He's like, keep going.
I was gonna say something that you said, Tommy, before, where these kind of people, like the way you said it was really funny. Like they're circle jerking each other. Basically, like they're always surrounding themselves with more people like them, and they never. So they're like kind of in a bubble of safety, and they don't. At the moment they meet something that's not part of their bubble, they freak out and go aggressive and deny everything.
Well, they're
and
also
don't even-
very aggressive. The reason the reactions are like this, I think, is because that's how it is in their circle. Everyone else reacts like this, like, you see people trying to cancel people all the time, as people call it now, where it's like, this guy made a racist remark. I'm gonna tell my friends and I'm gonna post it on all my social things, like, fuck this person, make them lose their job, call their employer or whatever. And it's like, why does it have to be such an extreme reaction? Let's chill. Let's talk to, like, ask them for a response. Ask them to say, like, hey, why did you say this? Is there some more context, or do you regret saying this? Like, people change and stuff like that. Like, I'm talking about if it's an old thing, but they just jump. They assume, and like, yeah, you'll see later on when we get to this, they just assumed the worst of us because of this comic. Like, this comic, this comic is insane.
So let me continue because it gets more insane. So yeah, the comments.
Really quick, just before we keep going, like a really small pivot. I had like a person exactly like, yesterday or 2 days ago, I think, whatever. So I was playing WoW, and we were like doing a boss, and one of our guys was like having a really like important role that's really, really easy to do. Didn't do his thing, but he was like, I did it. I definitely did it 100%. So I was like, okay, dude, we're in 2019. I have the technology. So I shadow played it and clipped it and put it up on Streamable. It took me like 2 minutes to do.
Maybe he was sure.
I put it in the chat, and like 24 other people saw it. And I was like, dude, it's right here. You didn't do it. And he insisted that he did it.
Even
and he
after
also,
the clip?
like, yep, even after the clip. And like he did it twice, so I clipped it twice, and then he blamed me on something else that it didn't work because I like damaged this mob before and whatever. Like he always found like new ways to like circumvent that he is at fault. It's like crazy.
Like, I get his position. He just got humiliated, and it's embarrassing to go like, fine.
Well,
but it's even more embarrassing to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just saying. I understand why they react like that. They're like so like caught off guard, like, fuck, I am the wrong one. They know it. They just discovered it themselves.
Yeah, but you know what I do when that happens to me? Yeah, you know what I do when something happens? I say sorry, my mistake, and I keep going.
It's the healthiest, it's the normal thing to do.
Yeah, I've heard stories exactly like this, but with like criminals or whatever, not criminals, just people who do something illegal and they're caught on camera, like some fucking lady shoplifting, and the cameras see her and it's clear, and she still denies it even though the footage is right in her face. It's just, some people just cannot accept being in the wrong. It's just how it is. And I get it. It's not fun being wrong, but if you are and everyone sees that you are, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, back to the fucking shitstorm. So yeah, I got those comments on DeviantArt. I was like, whatever. A few more came. They were all. That's the other annoying thing. They're very, very like rude,
like dismissive. They're very, because they could word it like, I think it's a bit offensive, it's not very funny. You could word it like that, and it's like, that's totally more respectable, like, fine, whatever. But although to me, still, if you don't like it, just don't look at it. Like, I don't know why you...
That's kind of a... Okay, like, you're saying...
Okay, maybe it's for me personally, fine.
You're saying that, but it doesn't always work, because maybe you're searching the tag of the game, and this shows up, and it's like...
Sure. Yeah, but still...
You don't... Because from the thumbnail, you don't know immediately what's going on.
Yeah, but my point is, I would never find myself in a position where I'm watching a YouTube video where I do every day and I dislike something, I just click off of it, leave it for the people who like it.
I know.
Unless it's actually harmful, which maybe these people think it is, and they want to try and like set you on the right path, but then they should be doing it in a better way.
Like I've seen plenty of shit I didn't like, and I was just like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
I just moved on. But yeah, like if they said like, hey, this thing,
I think it's insensitive. Blah, blah, whatever.
Like, fine, you can say that, but they come at me like, oh, you're a fucking clown. Fucking.
And I really think
weeds.
The thing is, though, another thing, you had the comic up for a while and you didn't have any comments like this, and then as soon as you got one, you got more. So to me, that seems like they're influenced by it. It's like they read it and who knows how they feel, and then they read the comment, and then it like alters their opinion on it. They're like, oh, this is racist. Shit, wait, the switch just got turned on. This is actually racist, you know?
Yeah,
and I see these people in these groups do that often. It's like bandwagoning kind of, and it happens a lot.
It really is.
I've
because
actually
people base sorry, just real quick. It's because people like base everything around themselves on like feelings these days. It's like crazy.
It's very very knee jerk. You don't really analyze it. Like honestly, sorry, actually, you finished what you were going to say.
No. It's just like when it's fuck. I don't want to get like into like too political stuff and
me
whatnot,
neither.
or like too edgy stuff.
Minimal.
But here's like one thing: if somebody if say you're a pedophile, but you don't actually like act anything against children, like you never like committed any like pedophilic things because you're like, oh, I'm just like you can't do anything against it. Pedophiles are born into like this shit. They cannot really influence if they want to be pedophiles or not. If they don't act, I'm totally fine with that. Like if they like, I don't know, find some like hentai.
Again, that's another gray.
That's such
gray
a super
area.
dude.
That's like super controversial.
That's super controversial. But
dude, as long as they don't do anything, I'm totally fucking fine with that.
Since you brought it up, I wouldn't have brought this up because I know that people are very sensitive to it. But I agree with you. I think it's weird, and I want to make it very specific what I think of this. I think it would be terrible if anyone acted upon it, and obviously, even if they watch, they watch child naughty movies, right? That's still indirectly harmful to kids because they get abused to make them and stuff like that. We're really dark now, but if they're just born and that's the thing they're into, maybe like they like to just think of it. I'm not gonna say that they're like, people really hate these people, and I just feel sorry for them. It's like, it's just a sickness. It's like, it's fucked up.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's unfortunate that you like this. Don't do anything relating to it, because I mean, there's people out there who like the idea of killing, you know. But
no, it's wait. Just wait. Let me go this real quick. So the problem is that you like, as soon as you come out as a pedophile, even though you haven't done anything, you're already like judged to death.
Sentenced.
Well, because I
already...
think we need to clarify what the definition of pedophile here is. Like, you're not acting. You're just saying you like them in a sexual way.
Well,
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, kids like, or you like kids in sexual ways, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're acting.
I mean, it's a weird thing to come out. Is that a thing that people do? You come out with?
Well, you kind of have to if you're like, imagine you were attracted to women your entire life, but you're never allowed to act on it. I can totally fucking see.
Yeah.
Like, that destroying you, and you cannot come out with it.
What does coming out with it do,
though? That's basically how gay people felt like in the past, right?
Yeah, they were evil. If you're a man and you want to fuck a man, you're evil. But now things have changed. Now, I'm not saying that it should change for pedophiles.
Well, you shouldn't you shouldn't go public with it, like, especially in these days. But like, if you want to get help, you have to like go to somebody.
To get help,
like,
you're saying, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And
I wonder if that is a thing you can actually help, though. I know that people have done stuff like that. I wonder if you can definitely. You think you can rewire something like that, like your preferences?
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't you can't rewire it. I mean, maybe you can, but you can definitely help it. And there's been this is super duper controversial, but there's some scientists have agreed on that maybe you could do consensual child porn, where child porn that's already been made is the people are being asked if it's okay if pedophiles can use that to get their thing off. And
wow, that's so weird.
But that's it's really hard. Well, no, I don't think it's that.
They're making the best. They're trying to make the best of what already happened.
Yeah,
it's like when vegans and shit are like, don't eat that chicken nugget, poor animals. Well, the chicken's already
dead.
The
difference here, though, the difference with that, though, the argument you can make is by consuming that meat or by consuming that porn, you encourage more to be created.
To make more. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's
not necessarily, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is you create demand for the chicken nugget. If no one's buying them, they're not gonna kill the chickens and make nuggets.
But you don't. But with pedophiles, it's like way different because chicken nuggets aren't illegal. If you like have legal child porn that you could consume, then it isn't like necessary that you constantly make new ones.
Yeah, but the people aren't gonna think like that necessarily. The creators, the fucked up people, will be like, I want more money. I'm gonna go and get some new content.
Yeah, obviously.
You know. So that's I think the harmful thing, and even it's an interesting idea, like recycle what's already been done, but
and if it actually like keeps people from acting, but
yeah, I would have preferred not to talk about.
Yeah, let's not talk. But I think
yeah, sorry about that.
It's a messed up topic.
It is fucked up.
It's in a really gray area, and God, like I've been in the receiving shoes. Let's just say that of pedophilia.
Wait, don't say the wrong thing.
Of what?
Though.
I've been in the receiving shoes of pedophilia when I was a kid. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you make it sound worse than it's.
Yeah, I mean,
just you've been fiddled, like.
Yeah. No, but it was.
It's fucked up.
Pretty
of course, it's fucked up.
It's just.
Yeah, that's really fucked up.
It's just, I guess, for some reason that didn't. It's just I've had so much other worse shit that's like nothing, you know, that didn't affect me that much, but it did.
And it can affect people differently as well, but.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I don't like to cuddle and shit now, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I know what it's like to be fucking like to have some adult touch you as a kid, and it's like fucked. And so yeah, it's a sensitive area. Like I don't think right now there's no real way of solving it in a way that everyone's happy.
The pedophilia shit, you mean?
Yeah, like
it's a very. You need to think about it.
Yeah, like either the pedophiles suffer or the non-pedophiles suffer, but someone's gonna suffer some way.
Yeah.
Anyways, off of that fucking
topic. I think just to like make sure no one thinks the wrong thing. Me and Tommy were basically just saying that we feel sorry for them more than actively. They didn't actively choose this lifestyle, so we don't hate them for it. And as long as they're not harming anyone, who knows. Yeah, directly or indirectly, as long as they're not harming anyone, I'm not gonna hate them as a person. I feel bad for them. I feel sorry for them.
But couldn't you technically say this about someone who fucking is an arsonist? Like, they didn't choose to be like that.
But it's still fucked up if they act on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah. I feel bad that they have this urge, that they want to burn shit down. It's fucked up, and if they do it, they should go to prison because it's harming people.
Okay, how do you feel about like racism in that way? Would you say that like, does someone choose to be racist?
No, because people get very, very, like, most of how people are built, like, I would say probably like 80-90% of how people like are built is from the environments. Like, if you are born into like a very racist family, it's very, very likely
exactly. And you can be educated out of it though. Like most of society was against gay people. Like they didn't have rights, or women at some point. But we grow out of that, you know, as people educate themselves and realize.
I think that's not the same. Not the same. Sexual attraction where it's a lot harder.
No, I'm
to
saying
change
I'm saying if someone has something where they want to act on, or they're into the idea of harmful things, as long as they don't act out on it. I'm not gonna hate them. I'm gonna feel like they need help, and that's it.
Yeah, you know? like I still would not like to meet.
No, I wouldn't be comfortable talking to an arsonist or whatever.
Like I still think pedophilia is fucking weird as shit. Like being into kids is like, what the fuck?
I don't know how that's possible.
How? And some have it worse. Like some people are like into fucking babies. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up, and it's like. Ugh, like it makes me cringe.
Anyway,
you know?
I think we're pretty clear. If somehow people misunderstand that, then they're probably like these people.
Okay.
So
anyways,
because we're on the same side in the end. We just have slight. We also don't condone it. We're just we have a slight differing like part in the steps. We're like a detail.
We obviously don't want kids to be hurt, but we also don't fucking send the attacker to hell immediately.
Yeah,
you know?
basically. Well, I want to help them. I'm trying to.
There's room for improvement.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. So I think that's okay. Anyway,
right.
We're talking about fun
podcast, by the way.
Video game podcast. I know this one's a derail, but it's healthy for me and Simi to let this shit out. Because just wait for the story.
Back to the fucking.
Back to the good stuff. Racism. Yeah.
Okay, so I got some comments on the internet, whatever, and then I posted this comic in that Discord server, and nobody really reacted to it. So I was like, whatever. And weeks passed, and the people were still cool with me in Discord, right? Like nothing changed. nobody said, "Hey, you're racist." Nobody said anything. Everything was
You're
fine.
still having fun. They were actively talking back to you, and you were having fun.
Yeah, they were talking to me. They were complimenting my shit. It was all good until one fateful day. There's one fucking person joins the server, and
they're so
wait,
extreme.
Wait,
this person.
It's two people. It's two people. So one person joins, and I can already see red flags. Like they weren't attacking me or anything. They're still like quote unquote nice, as in they were just new. But the way they were talking, it's like, for example, like we would have a conversation, like a group of people. We would talk about one thing, and this person would butt in, like, "Okay, fuck your topic. I'm gonna talk about my character now." And it's like, okay, sure, I get it. You want to talk about your character, but just wait for the right time. Like, don't just interrupt. And they were so obsessed with talking about themselves and their own character and shit.
Just very like
yeah,
aggressive, not in the like mean way, but very aggressive personality. Like
very forcing their shit.
Confrontational.
And very impatient.
No, not even confrontational though. She wasn't saying there was confrontation. It was just, like you're talking about something, and it's like, anyway, me,
Yeah, they were just very. It's like, okay, and like any topic anyone would talk about, somehow this person would find a way to make it about their fucking character.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. I know what it's like that I have a fuck ton of characters and I love them and I like talking about them. But dude, you can't just fucking fuck everyone else's shit and it's like your character 24/7, But whatever. And funny enough, I like their character.
It's just a bit annoying, but like you can get over it, right?
Yeah, like because they put a picture of their character. I was like, yeah, that's a nice character. And here's where the shitstorm starts. This is not even, it's not even related to the comic anymore, this part, but it's still stupid. So they post a picture of their character that they love so much, and I'm like, oh, it's a cool character. It reminds me of this other character. And Tommy, I don't know if you know a character called Zone 10.
I've never heard of this name.
Yeah, it's not like super known or anything. It's some
hentai brand.
It's not even hentai. It's like because they do cartoony shit. I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's many
I think
people
it's just
or
a
whatever.
studio. Yeah, it's like an animation studio that does parodies and original
porn.
Animated porn stuff.
It's not hentai. It's not anime. It's like cartoon stuff. Yeah. And they many times do parodies of like real things, like cartoons, and they make it so authentic, like it looks like a real episode and it's acted and everything, but it's with porn.
It's really impressive. It's really impressive.
It's really impressive. Yeah, like it really looks authentic, and it's usually more funny than sexy, honestly.
Yeah, because it's such ridiculous things that they're parodying.
Yeah. Like I've never really been into the shit they made. I watched like a couple things and I was like, lol, they're kind of funny, I guess. But it's really well made. And so they have a mascot, right? And the mascot is called Zone 10, and it's some chick who has purple hair that's in a certain haircut. It's like short at the top, but it's got a long bit at the bottom, whatever. And I said that this person's character reminded me of this Zone 10. And they instantly went like, ugh, yuck.
Oh, we have a screenshot of this actually.
Cursed. Yeah.
Because okay.
You should have named these.
No, it's okay like this.
Like all these files are just Twitter 1, Twitter 2, Twitter 3. Yeah.
Wait, I just wanna not reveal that stuff yet because it's interesting later. Oh wait, no, not here. This. There you go. Okay, so. I mean, whatever. I'll just read it out loud. Just tell me so I don't have to bother sending it to you.
Yeah.
Just this person was like, she just be like that. I don't know. I guess after a picture of the character, and then Simi goes, kind of reminds me of Zone 10. No, ack. Okay, kind of like, all right, weird. Why? right.
I had no idea why they would be so revolted about this character. In my mind, I thought, is it because it's related to porn stuff? But they like porn, so what's the problem?
Okay.
And we're not gonna show their character here. They said cursed, and I said blessed as a joke, and then they said cursed again, and they said zone animated kid fucking multiple times. So shrug. That's what they said. And of course, and of course, and I reacted with, ew, really? I didn't know that. Well, I still think the character is nice. Like, it's a fucking character, it's a design, whatever. I can like a character without being into whatever the fuck they're relating to, you know? Like, and uh, these people, okay, God, how to say this? Okay, so remember this thing, it's gonna come back later, right? So this zone 10 thing. So it stopped there, this conversation. They said, ew, this is kid fucking whatever, and I said, ew, really, I didn't know that. Whatever, the character's nice. That was it. Moving on. Then another person joins who is friends with this character.
Original aggressive.
Yeah. And this other person, I don't know for sure, but I suspect that they are one of the people who commented negatively on my comic on DeviantArt, but I can't truly confirm it because, everyone has different names everywhere, but I have a feeling it's that person. And this person was kind of okay at first. They were really weird. They were really into really weird shit and posting all that really weird shit, but whatever. I don't judge people's kinks, whatever. And again, nobody said anything to me. Everything was cool. And then suddenly, I get a private message from one of the admins of the server. And I actually have the whole conversation here. I'm not going to read it all. But they're just like, oh, someone in the server told me that you posted something kind of racist. Like, they wrote it like that, like kind with many eyes. And they're like, oh, just don't make jokes like that in the future. And I'm just like, this happened like fucking so much later after I posted the comic that I forgot about it. I was like, which joke? And they didn't even know. They're like, oh, let me go check with the other people. Like, they didn't even know what they're talking about, and they were already telling me to stop doing this thing. And that already shows how these people are. Like, they don't even ask for my side of the story. Like, I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, let me check with the others.
Imagine if I'm on a server, Ubisoft server, and I contact one of the mods and I'm like, Tommy said something that made me uncomfortable, and they come to you and say you did something uncomfortable,
and
like,
you stop,
and then you're like, what thing? And I didn't fucking, they don't even know. I didn't provide the proof or anything, and they just, what world are we catering to? What if I don't know, what if you're at an establishment in person somewhere and you say, that guy over there in the corner of the room, like, they did this thing that upset me, and they go and actually, like, do we not provide proof? Or like, why is it guilty until proven innocent? Why isn't it the other way around? Like, how can I just go around accusing people of doing something?
Like, to me, the normal thing here would have been for them to say, hey, this person said this, is this true? And then depending on what I say, then you can continue. But they just said, hey, don't do this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyways, and then they said that it's about the comic, and I'm like, okay, this comic I've posted on the server fucking weeks ago, nobody cared, and now suddenly someone cares. Like, someone went back in the Discord server.
So obviously it's the new person that joined. I think it's a very safe assumption, right?
Yeah, like
maybe
it
not,
happened.
but
It happened like basically maybe an hour later after that person joined. The shitstorm started, so it's gotta be that person. And I said to this person, I don't even know what to say. Whatever, and the conversation goes on. This person, the mod, they seemed like, the way they talked to me, they seemed like they were neutral, like they weren't on their side or my side. They were just like, I don't know, I'm just telling you what these guys told me. And I was like, okay, I don't think it's racist. Do you think it's racist? And they said, I don't think it's racist, but I don't know, they're upset. And I'm like, okay. And
isn't that also such a weird statement? If as the mod of a server you don't think something violates the rules or whatever, why would you then still enforce to remove it? If someone if you post yourself shirtless, Tommy, and someone's like, that's nudity, and I say, I don't think that's nudity, I'm not gonna tell you to come remove it. I'm as the mod, as the person running my server.
Yeah.
And sorry, I love that it's not even just the mod coming to me. It's this is like some fucking game of wireless telephone. Like, someone talked to one of the mods, and then that mod talked to this mod, and this mod talked to me. Like, just talk to me, person. Just if you're upset about something I said, just tell me in person. Why are you going through two different other people?
It really is
get...
ridiculous. If I have a problem with Tommy now, sorry, I keep using it as an example. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be like, dude, this thing that you did is not cool. Like, can you not say stuff like that? Can you not fucking bring up pedophilia again? I'll tell you that, right? I'm not gonna go to YouTube mods and I'm
or you're not gonna go to Rage to tell Guff to tell Tommy. You know,
it's really. Are we not? And you joined an adult server, by the way. Are we not adults here? Can you not tell me that you think there's an issue here? It's really ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay. And then the next thing is even more ridiculous. Like, I really couldn't believe this shit. They said, I was told you made a reference to some animator who does CP and that bothered someone. And I was like, oh, what's CP? And they said, child porn. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? I just said that someone's character reminded me of Zone 10, the fucking mascot of that porn thing. And that offended, like, that bothered someone to the point of going to the mall and talking about me like some fucking kid going to the teacher.
No, but the real thing to focus here is the way they worded it. You made a reference to some animator who does child porn. What? That's like the Neverhood, the lead designer of Neverhood and Armored Krog and Earthworm Jim. He's homophobic. Like, I think he's openly homophobic. Me saying, imagine the situation where I said, Tommy, this character that you made looks like Clayman from the Neverhood, and that is.
I have a way better example. That's
a perfect example.
No, I have a way better one.
All right.
But imagine you have somebody with a funny mustache, and you say he looks like.
I know where you're going with this.
You get banned now because Hitler murdered multiple million people.
I mean, no, but it's even like if they had, I don't know. It's so like it's such a fucking assumption and leap to like I can like Neverhood still, can't I? Do I have to hate everything? Like, I think the game is charming and stuff. I don't support the guy. If it's true that he actually is homophobic, that's fucked up. The guy sucks. But to say that this is a reference to it, like, and also the thing is even better here. Simi and I had never even heard that the Zone 10 person did child shit. Like, to me, I always knew.
We don't watch it.
I was like, oh, this person animated like some Ghostbusters parody, and they did some like canceled cartoon. Like, that's the stuff that I knew, or like panty and stocking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, and in the conversation, Sim even said, "Oh, really? I didn't know that." And it's like.
And not just really, I said ew, really.
She even reacted negatively, and
that immediately implies that I'm not into that shit, and I think it's fucked up.
I mean, no, actually, another analogy is like if I mentioned Call of Duty, and then Tommy's like, "Did you mention like I mentioned World War II?" And you're like, "Did you mention the murdering of Jews?" You made a relation to that. It's like, no, I didn't. I was talking about something else that's related.
Yeah, it's like that fucking game where you have to find the relation between two words that are really different.
Yeah, or like that celebrity one. It's like, how many people connections can I make to be related to Brad Pitt or whatever the fuck?
Yeah. It's just like
it
that.
Really isn't.
All I said is that your character visually looks similar to this. Like, again, we're not gonna show the character because that might make it easy to find this person, and I don't want people, because I am respectful, unlike them. But yeah, like both of these characters, like they have purple hair, they have similar haircuts, they have similar styled like face and eyes, and on top of all that, they're both fucking like slutty chicks. Like the Zone 10 character is always fucking some shit, and this person's character, they were proud of it too. They were always drawing them having sex with the characters from the game, sucking their dicks, whatever. Like really nasty, dirty stuff, like obviously really slutty, openly slutty, like, and you're getting offended that I'm comparing it to fucking Zone 10, who is literally purple hair, same look, also slut. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
and the mod is telling me, the way they talk is so annoying. Like, they don't even know what they think. They're like, just be more careful what you say, question mark, I guess. Like, I don't know this. And again, the whole time they seemed like they weren't against me. They were just kind of neutral. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for telling me. I'm gonna deal with it myself, you know. And then that was that. And then I wanted to go deal with it, but again, I didn't even know who these people were who talked to the mods because
you asked her, can you tell me who, so I can message it myself? You skipped that line.
Yeah.
And then they said no, they don't want to be identified or whatever. Like,
but that's so you can't fucking do that. You can't go complain about me to like a mod, like someone with authority, and then I want to talk to you and you're like, no, don't tell them who I am. Like, how am I supposed to solve the problem if I don't even know who you are? You know, and
I get that aspect of it. They didn't want the confrontation, but it's such ridiculous problems to bring up anyway. So
if you don't want the confrontation, then don't make a problem.
Well, no, if they think that there's an issue, right? They're good. If they think that you're doing something wrong, someone's posting porn, let's say, in a place that shouldn't have porn, you're gonna say, "Hey, mod, remove this." It's just the whole everything combined doesn't make sense.
So now that I really think about it, I see what they're in their mind. It was just they didn't want to solve the problem. They just wanted me to be banned. That's why it didn't matter who said it.
Yeah, or to not make jokes about stereotypes or whatever.
And so now I went back in the server feeling fucking bitter, but I didn't say anything. I still acted like nothing happened, and no one was saying anything still. And then like a few minutes later, I'm kicked or banned or whatever. Like the server's gone.
Like you were talking normally. Like you weren't making allusions to your comic or anything like that.
No,
it was just like you were talking normally.
Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? Really? Just like that? And I go to the person, the mod that I was talking to, who seemed like they weren't against me, and I write, hey, I just got kicked. Like, really? I mean, come on, you know? And the message didn't send, so that means they blocked me. The fucking person who supposedly was neutral, they blocked me. And it's like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, in the end, it's their server. They can do whatever.
Of course, yeah. We're not saying.
I know.
Whatever. They can do what they want on their server, but it's just such a ridiculous situation. They basically kicked her on the grounds of one person, because the mod even said they don't think it's a racist comic. So what did they kick her for? You know?
It's just to make sure that I don't upset someone again.
I mean, by that logic, there were so many things, dude. Every day Simi was showing me shit that was being posted there that was upsetting her. She's not gonna I mean, like some.
Maybe you should have done that.
Yeah, I could have. Someone made me feel really weird, but I kind of laughed it off because it was also funny. Like someone in there was into some really weird shit, and like I just wrote in the server, "Woo! I just ate a lot of pizza and I'm stuffed," you know. And they're like, "Oh, how much pizza?" Like they're into stuffing, you know. And I was like, lol. And they're like, "Oh, that's so hot," and I'm just like,
it's kind of weird to say that about a real person to them. It's a bit weird.
And then they said, I was kind of like playing along in a funny way, like, "Oh, it was a big pizza, haha, lol." And they're like, like they were moaning in text, which was really weird. And then they said, "Be right back, sweat emoji." So that they went to jerk it off to me being stuffed with pizza. And it's like, that's something that I could tell a mod, "Hey, dude, this is weird." But I didn't, because whatever.
But in the end, it's not harmful. It made you feel uncomfortable. You're one person, and it wasn't like, you know, world ending. And like, I mean, yeah. I don't kink shame. I kink shame and I don't kink shame. Like, I can make fun of something that's weird to me personally. I'm not gonna make the person feel bad, obviously. I can make fun of it with Simi and Tommy if I think people into fucking cars, people like to fuck the exhaust pipe of a car. I'm gonna say it's weird, but whatever, fucking do it if it's your car and like whatever, or you're into the idea, go for it. And same with this stuffing thing. It's like, I don't see the sexual appeal of eating a lot of pizza. And it's fucking weird that they directly told Simi that her pizza that she ate was turning them on and shit. But yeah, like you deal with it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, just I don't know. You can't be.
I mean, it really. Do you know how many problems I have in life, like minuscule shit, like, and everyone does. Like, you go to the bank, and it's like, this guy has fucking open shoe with toe fungus on him, and it's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna go and try and enforce a closed shoe regulation in the bank because I don't know. Maybe
call the fucking police.
Maybe he needs to air it out, or maybe like, why is the garbage here near the door? I have a very sensitive stomach and it can make me vomit. Like, there's just you can't. Everyone, not everyone can be in a bubble and like the slightest draft of wind will pop it. Like, you need to adapt and grow thicker skin. And I'm not saying like, fuck you, deal with it about anything in life, but like specific things like this is, if you personally found that this comic is not funny or is insensitive, just move on. Like, I don't know. It's such a weird thing to complain, and maybe they can bring it up if Simi's doing it all the time. You know, like you post many things that they find insensitive, regardless of if it's right or not. Then you can bring it up. It's so. Yeah, it's a very strange situation.
It gets
worse. But also you should also mention, like another thing, these people just like to describe the shit that they're into. They were super into.
Wait. I'll bring that up later.
You don't think it's relevant now? All right.
It's gonna be relevant when to something else. So I thought that was the end of it. Like, I got banned from the server. Oh well, too bad. Life goes on.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the end of it. You know, until I apparently. Okay. So after I got banned, I was like, what the fuck? So Genna decided to join the server and write a long message.
I joined the server the day before you invited me. You're like, oh, look at this shit. And and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then the next day Simi got banned, and I was still there, and I was so upset for her. It was so like unjust. And again, it doesn't, like you said, Tommy, it's their server, they can do whatever the fuck they want, and in the end it doesn't matter, it's one server. But I still wanted to tell them, like, hey, you know, and I wrote a thing out. I did a really well thought out thing, like because I was really heated, but I was like, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna think about this, I'm gonna write down all these things that I can think of, and send it in the Discord. People can do what they want. If they don't want to hear it, fine, I'll leave, whatever. But maybe it will change their mind. Maybe someone will come. And she was like, don't do it, don't bother. And really, the sad thing is, the whole time I was like, I had faith in them. I was like, no, maybe if I just really explain it like this, maybe that one person was upset and they caused all this, but most of the people will be like, okay, I see his point of view or her point of view. Maybe it was unfair or something like that, right? So tell me, here's what I wrote. It's brace yourself, it's a long one, but really I did take the time to think it out, and I was like, I want to express everything, and you tell me honestly what you think about it. Okay, tell me.
Okay, let's.
So I'll read it out loud, but I'll send you the parts here if you want to read them. So I copied it into like 2 giant bits, and I posted in the Discord server.
Ooh, that is a bitch.
It's a lot. I'm gonna read it out loud. So I said, "Welp, I was invited yesterday by Simina-Cindy to the group because she said this was a fun group to chat in with some cool people, only to find out today that she was banned out of the blue. She told me not to bring it up here, but I felt she was treated unfairly, so I want to talk about it. Banned because one person offended by a comic. Not only did they not tell her personally, but they felt the need to go through the mods to tell her. So because one person is offended, we need to all cater to them and ban someone. The comic just pokes fun at the Indian stereotype of being tech support. I could argue that Questionette. So Questionette is a character in the game who, it's a really funny character. She's a mime, and she kind of looks like that art style. Baroque, is it? Where Picasso, sorry, he has like a split face kind of thing, whatever, and she looks really weird, and when you go up and talk to her, it's all like gibberish text, and the way you actually, it's a puzzle in the game, but you need to get like a little plaque and hold it up to her speech bubble, and then you can actually make like sense of what she's saying. It's a really funny thing, but she's obviously like, I don't remember, she's a French stereotype. It's a mime, right?
She also has a stroke.
She's not really a mime. She just poses.
She poses like this, yeah. Anyway, and she has a mime hat, like, or that painter
beret. Yeah.
Anyway, so I could argue that Questionette is more racist because she poses like a mime, French stereotype, and she is made fun of in game. Like the other characters say she talks gibberish, and of course she wears a beret. And I further said about another character called Habit. Oh, and Habit has the most typical Russian name ever, Boris. And he talks nonsense because lol foreigner, because he types like a weird like child on the internet, as the creators stated in a stream. And then I said, well, as someone who is Russian, I could call offense to that, but I won't because I realize the creator of the game isn't saying anything malicious, they're just joking around, right? On top of that, Simi's comic was literally making fun of the stereotyper. No one else found it offensive, just those 1 or 2 people. We cannot live in a world where we cater to every single person's problems. Simi was force-fed as a child to the point of vomiting, and all the feeding kinks in the server made her uncomfortable. So that was a thing that people were bringing up a lot in the server, like showing people being force-fed and like fucking gigantic, like full of food and shit. But she didn't go out of her way to stop people from enjoying themselves because it's their own thing. She could just not look at it. Do I stop the entire server from posting a drawing that has fire because fire triggers me and makes me feel anxious? No, I can jokingly mention it and try to work on the fear on my own. I don't need to censor entire topics for the server because I'm one person. So is there anything you want to maybe comment on that before we continue, Tommy, or does that kind of...
I agree with pretty much all of this.
It's reasonable, right? Like, I mean... I'm not coming. I'm really trying to reason with them. I'm trying to like help.
Yeah, you're
them.
not like.
Yeah. I'm really trying to like piece it together and stuff.
Yeah, it's very reasonable.
Okay, so and the person later said that Simi mentioned CP. So again, child porn. I read the discussion and she literally just mentioned the character's name and said she looked cute. I've never once seen that character used in CP. You could say that about literally any character. It doesn't mean that Simi herself condones or even mentions it. She showed disgust towards it when it was mentioned. And to the person who said you felt uncomfortable because of the topic, you are the one that brought it up. To twist the situation so much like that is comprehensible to me. Incomprehensible to me. And then the next picture continues that. From here. Simi provoked so much discussion and added content to the server, and you just ban her without further discussion because she refused to apologize to some mystery single person that was offended by a comic that is obviously making fun of the racist. Just because it involves racism doesn't mean that you cannot laugh at it or that it is racist. Life is not just black and white. The server was advertised as a place for adults, so I would expect more mature behavior in dealing with clashes. I expect to just be outright banned without further discussion, and that's disappointing since I'm sure most people in the group are cool and had no problem with Simi, but 2 or so people couldn't handle a situation clearly and just banned an active and friendly member of their community. I'm 100% confident that most people in this server did not find her comic offensive, so it's ridiculous to me to act this way. She posted the comic weeks ago and now suddenly it's a problem. If something is truly offensive, it doesn't take time to be realized. Banning without discussion and blocking her because she politely disagreed with your opinion is incredibly childish and an overreaction. I really hope this is discussed without just outright silencing me, and she only has a chance to speak her side of the story because she happened to invite me one day before this happened. Brackets, wall of text, but this is important for all members to consider. So a little bit dramatic. I realized that, and I did ramble a little bit at the end. Maybe could have made it more concise, but I really tried to just be fair. And I laid it all down, you know, like I said exactly what Tommy said before, which we didn't talk about this priorly, but he said, oh, you know, if a German whatever, then it's not a problem. And I said the same thing about the French person here and the Russian person, right? But because it's Indian, the Indian stereotype, it's a problem. So I said that, and I got bombarded by people in the server. Bombarded, Tommy. I've never felt like a mob attacking me in my life. It was really it was the worst human interaction I've ever had, really.
Like how many people?
It was like maybe 10 people, but they like started spamming like, fuck off, get the fuck out of here, stuff like legit like that, no discussion. Actually, sorry, I should say, I'm pretty sure, I don't have the login with me.
I know exactly.
I'm pretty sure the first reply actually was, I didn't think that comic was racist, I thought it was funny. I'm pretty sure that was it. And then after that, everyone was like, get the fuck out of here. And like, I was struggling to read what people were saying. I had to like scroll up because it was moving so fast. And I came here and I was, dude, Tommy, you don't know how hard I was trying to like stay calm and be the better person. I was really like, oh, I'm not trying to start shit, guys, relax, you know. I just wanted to bring it up because I know that you liked her and whatever. And they were really, really aggressive. And at someone asked me a question. I don't remember what they said. Or they didn't ask a question. I don't know. They said something to me, right? In the giant wall of text that was moving. So I atted them in Discord. You know, you type at their name and then you respond to them so they can see it. And they said, and now you're attacking me? So I was attacking someone for using the at function in Discord because there was a giant wall of text scrolling because everyone was talking. I wanted to make sure that it's highlighted so they see that I'm talking to them, and then my reply is specific to them. And that was the person that I think
that was the person with the character.
That was the person with the character. So you can see patterns of like aggression and jumping to the fucking train. I don't know, like they just assumed that I'm attacking them from all that. From an at? Dude, you don't know how composed I was, and I wish I had the rest of the screenshots of the chat. And by the way, Tommy, let me tell you, the only reason I had that screenshot of that paragraph, any of these screenshots, because I wasn't petty enough to screenshot this shit and think of like, I'm gonna show them on my podcast. Me and Simi were really bothered by this. Simi was actually severely depressed for a long time, genuinely, because it fucks you, you know. And they were like harassing her on her DeviantArt. They like all posted stuff on her shit at the same time. Like they typed like I think weed or something. I don't even know what that means, but they just did. You could tell that they were like trying to harass her and stuff. And you feel attacked, and especially when you feel like you did nothing. Like Simi, I know Simi. I mean, you know Simi. You know yourself. She's not racist, man. Like you had an Indian friend when you were a kid, and people laugh at that example. But it's like, I don't know why. I mean, I wouldn't be friends with someone who I think is inferior or stupid or whatever racism is.
And the worst thing is that so many times in the past I've made it so clear that I love Indian shit.
Yeah, she was expressing her love for the culture and stuff in that server.
Oh, and sorry, just a side thing that I just remembered. In the Discord server, there was someone else who made a fan character for this game who's also an Indian guy, and they made him a fucking belly dancer.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a fucking stereotype. That's literally the other stereotype, you know? It's tech support and belly dance.
But it's just for some reason, I think the problem stems that these guys think that tech support is a negative thing. Like they probably see it as like McDonald's, you know? Like if there was a certain race that did McDonald's jobs and you said that, it'd be like, what the fuck? Like that's a low tier, because probably tech support is like in demand. Like there's always open slots for it and stuff, and it probably doesn't pay that well. I don't know much about tech support. But I'm just gonna assume that that's where it came from. But belly dancing is like a skill, and like you dance. But I mean, you need to know how to fix things if you're working in tech support. It really boggled my mind. That's a good point, though, Simi.
Those people are just batshit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we could boil it all down to that.
I don't want to publicly insult them, like, because I really feel like these people have some fucking problem, like. Because
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, just the way they talk and the way they react to things, it's like borderline psychotic. Like it's like actual insanity.
Yeah, I remember
like,
I said that when Simi left the room when I don't remember, she was doing something when I was writing my paragraph in the Discord server, and she came back and she was like, "Are you gonna still post the thing?" And I was like, "I did it." And I remember I was looking at her like, "I did it." And I remember I said, they are insane. Like I don't think I've ever called anyone that I've talked to actually insane.
Insane, like real, like literally. Like you can say, "Oh, that shit was insane," but these people are literally insane.
I mean, I don't know if literally. I don't know what the definition of insanity is. Is it? Yeah,
doing the same thing over and over again. Sorry. I had to do that.
I mean, okay. One thing's for sure. They are fucking
paranoid. Very assumptive and aggressive. Like, I'm on your side, man. I hate racism. It's one of the worst forms of stupidity. How can you think that a race is inferior just for being the race, being how they were born, right? Like, aside from environmental growing up or whatever the fuck, racism is so unbelievably stupid. And these people are attacking me like I'm on the other side. They don't even know me. They're not talking to me. And I felt like the thing I constructed, the paragraph, was really well thought out. I refined it. I redid it multiple times to like make it concise and make the points very clear.
And to make sure you're not like insulting anyone. But yeah, you were saying how the funny thing is, the ironic thing is, it's not even you who screenshotted this.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, oh, you're not petty.
Yeah.
And like, oh, yeah.
So I mean, Tommy, you don't know how bad I felt, or like shocked. I was, because I told you, I really had hope. I was telling Simi, no, I think they're gonna turn around on this, and she was like, they're not. And they failed me. I really had hope for them, and I was so frustrated with this. I mean, I could have easily screenshotted it all, come here, uncensored names and stuff, and like show it off. Fuck these guys, humiliate them. But I stopped myself. These people don't have this shit to stop themselves. And I told you they harassed me, whatever. We still could have continued to humiliate them, or we had the opportunity to do it again, but we didn't. And I let it go. And then I told you I rediscovered some stuff because of this game dev at the beginning of the story. Because I don't know if I ever made that connection. Basically, I think that person probably banned me, blocked me on Twitter, that game dev. I assume because of a post. I searched on Twitter my name. I was curious. and I found a post relating to this incident, and someone said block me. So my only guess that I could think of is this game dev probably has a bot or some sort of script that wide bans anyone that is maybe related to some sort of topic. Maybe my name is in this post and it also says block him. So maybe, because I never had an interaction with this person, so that's unbelievable to me that someone would be so close-minded, and they think the people they're blocking are the close-minded ones. But I mean, dude, whatever. I'll just say. Do I want to say it? I don't know. I don't want to out the dev.
Nah, don't say.
No, I wasn't gonna. I was gonna say a detail, but I won't. Whatever.
It's fine.
Because people can figure it out after that. But it was really upsetting. Like, you don't know me, man. I might support your cause. I might love your game. I might get along with you, but you just ban me, just like that. Like, you block me. You never even talk to me. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, I found posts on Twitter. So we're getting towards the end of this. Don't worry. So, let me see. Do I start from here? So yeah, I was saying how I didn't screenshot any of this. So, and yeah, I was saying I had opportunities to post shit about them, but I didn't. But they decided that we are so in the wrong and we deserve so much to be humiliated that they started making Twitter posts about this amongst their community or whatever.
And they didn't censor our names.
They didn't censor our names. It was a call-out post. Like, they're trying to...
Yeah, it was a call-out post. Like, they said their username is this, go block them, whatever.
Okay, so here's the first one. Let me... Entire display. So, can't believe the person behind the racist tech support Kamal comic is a Zone fangirl. Into non-con, I am not surprised, but wow, terrible. So, they actually...
Let me talk about this. First of all, I'm like 99% sure this is the person with the fucking character. Okay?
But probably, yeah.
I think it is, because I think I saw the character on their thing. Anyways, first of all, I mentioned a fucking character and now I'm a fangirl of Zone, the porn thing? Bro! The fact that I didn't even know that they do child shit obviously shows that I don't know shit. Like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about this fucking animator or animators. I don't even know how many. I don't care. I just know of their existence.
I just can't believe that they continue to further twist this.
Yeah.
It's like this was their way of saying, like, they took out the child porn shit because you said I reacted to whatever, that's gross, but then they twist it to you're a fangirl and that comes with that connotation. It's like today I mentioned Fortnite, I'm suddenly a Fortnite fanboy.
Honestly, what surprises me is that you guys are so surprised by this, because to be fair, I'm pretty deep into politics, and people do this shit in politics all the time.
I know, but you can usually avoid it, but this was to us personally. I mean, look, it's got 79 likes. That's very good for Twitter. And
I was about to say, yeah, that's like if you're on the receiving end and you're not used to it, obviously, yeah, that's really, really bad. But yeah.
Yeah.
I will count your
But yeah,
anger.
I wanna say, like, this person is being so, and of course, out of context, you see just this post. Of course, all their followers are gonna assume that, yeah, I am a Zone fangirl. I don't give a shit about Zone. I don't know shit about Zone. I've seen like 2 or 3 animations from them, and I thought, haha, lol, and that's it. Like, I don't give a fuck about Zone.
Yeah,
I've never seen such a reach.
And then the into non-con thing. So let's I'm gonna fucking fire back with this shit. So in the server, everyone was talking about their kinks, right? Because that's what the server was for. Like, there was a whole channel in the server that was just about not safe for work.
And I remember, like, every day, I wasn't in this one, but I saw it after, like, right before I got banned. I went to the thing, and it's like every day people go in there just to be like, oh, I want to eat this character, or
wait, let me
shit like that. Like, I'm just saying, like, really, yeah.
I know, but don't ruin it.
No, yeah, I was just saying, it's like all the time.
Yeah, I know. People were really passionate about their kinks. So yeah, everyone's saying their kinks, and fucking, you know what non-con is, Tommy?
I actually don't. I have no clue.
Non-consensual.
So it's like
I mean, it's basically
fantasy.
rape fantasy, yeah.
Yeah, and that's shit so fucking popular. Why do you think 50 Shades of Grey did so well? Like, yeah, it's fantasy. It's fiction. I don't give a fuck. Like, obviously, real rape sucks ass, I don't condone it. But if it's a story,
and like you said, you experienced it to a certain extent when you were younger.
I know it's not.
Of course, it's awful. It's an awful thing.
Yeah, of course I don't like rape, but it's it's a fiction and it's like non-con, and even then I don't like when it's like full on rape where it's like the person's crying and shit. That's fucked up. It's always like kind of like I don't want it but I kind of do kind of thing, you know, that kind of shit. And it's like, and so yeah,
it's like the character is like shy or uncomfortable, like that's such a trope.
That kind of shit. And I like how someone else tried to publicly say this on my DeviantArt, like, be careful, y'all, this person's into non-con, like as if I'd be embarrassed by that. Like, yeah, so
I mean, dude, that's like someone coming to my profile and be like, be careful, guys, this person plays Call of Duty or something. It's like, dude,
isn't that like kind of the majority of girls anyways?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to say something like that because we don't know, but you guys are saying that you've
in my personal
witnessed
experience,
yeah,
girls
and
are
me,
into this.
and me, like so many women. That's why 50 Shades of Grey did so well and with women.
I mean, I can see the appeal as well. Like,
it's a really popular
as long
like
as it's
fetish.
as long as it's in fantasy. But my argument, what I was gonna say was like, people compose, careful, this guy plays a game with murdering. Like, yeah, I love Wolfenstein, or I mean that you're killing Nazis, so you're excused. Whatever.
Wow, those are my German people, okay?
Or Doom, right? Again, demons. Whatever. My point is, it's like, you play a game, or in fantasy, in a movie, you know, you like seeing Jason kill all these kids, right? These teenagers at the camp, and it's like, it's fantasy, man. It's fantasy. Sane people can differentiate that, right? That's why there's no gun violence, to bring another political thing. In Europe, there isn't really gun violence, despite having all these fucking murder spree games, you know? So yeah, if someone's into non-con, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're gonna act out on it. And even like you said, they lacked the context here of even saying to what extent you even enjoy it. You know?
Yeah, but let me make it even better. This fucking point. So, how to say this? So yeah, they're like trying to shame me for being a non-con, even though it's such a popular king, right? And wait, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. But these people, like everyone was open up. Oh yeah, I just remembered. In the server, someone else brought up non-con, and they were saying, "Oh man, that's hot," you know. And I was like, "Yeah, I know," you know. Like I was like just talking to that person, like I was like, "Yeah, it's fun, whatever in fan fiction." And then this fucking person with the character, I think it was them, comes in and is like, or maybe it was someone else, who knows, whatever, just some person comes in and it's like, guys, like that shit makes me uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, sorry. And then I wrote like, you know how you can tag shit on Discord with spoilers, so it makes it all black. And like I added the other person I was talking to, and I told them, oh, yeah, I'm totally into non-con, but let's not talk about it to not make people uncomfortable, you know. Like I said that.
That's a correction of the thing, right? Like, again, it's like they could ignore it, but fine, it made them uncomfortable. You said, okay, I will not do that. But now,
like literally, someone else brought up fucking non-con, and then someone said I'm uncomfortable, and I said to that person, okay, let's stop talking about this. I don't want to make this person feel uncomfortable. And somehow they're using this against me.
Well, their problem isn't that you are talking about it in the server. Their problem is that you like it, and supposedly that's troublesome or whatever.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like again, these people act like they're so open and they accept everyone and blah blah blah. And in the server, they're like, "Oh, don't be shy. Share your kinks. Everyone's here for you."
That is
blah.
The worst part. It's very two-faced. Yeah.
It's so two-faced. Like, and I did that. Everyone was going fucking full detail about their kinks, and I was like, yeah. I'm not embarrassed by this shit. I'll just say it. And now they're using it against me. Well, here's what they're into. That's like infinitely more fucked up. So, Tommy, have you heard of Vor? I'm sure you have.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, imagine Vor but times 10. Okay, so, and it's one thing to be like, because there are people who like weird shit, but they act kind of normal about it. Like they're like they can be people who are like, yeah, I'm into Vor. I know it's weird, but oh well, you know. But these people were so obsessed and weird about it. They would say like, oh yes, just imagine being surrounded by that warmth, and like they were saying, like they want to be eaten full, like in real life. Like I will never forget this line. This was the weirdest shit. Like first of all, they were saying how it's comforting. Like, oh, I like this thing not in a sexual way, but it's in a comforting way, which I thought was like, what?
I mean, everybody has their own shit.
Yeah,
exactly. But she ignored it.
They said this. They said the room around you is alive and also your friend. Which in my mind I was like, because you're eaten, you're in someone's stomach, so the room around you is alive and also your friend.
That's really like a disturbing line.
Like,
it sounds like something a psycho villain would say. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, it's like some shit Joker would say, And it's like I was like thinking to myself that's the most insane thing I've ever read. Still, I was nice to that person, and I said that's probably the most innocent way of looking at horror, I guess. I said something like that.
I remember you said that. Yeah.
I said, well, that's different, I guess. But I was so, and they're like into fucking people getting stuffed with food until their body becomes a fat lump and like their shirt fucking pops open and shit.
And I think most people would agree this stuff is weird and gross, and we're saying it's so weird. But yeah, you were still accepting
them. They're into burping. Like, oh yeah, it's so hot when the character burps. It's like, what the fuck, dude? And again, like I think this shit is so weird. But if someone's into it, fine, whatever. The only reason I'm bringing it up now and talking shit about it is because they fucking, oh, she's into non-con. Like,
the difference for them is that your thing is like a dangerous thing or harmful. I assume.
Eating someone is not fucking dangerous.
Yeah, but it's consensual,
right?
So I don't know. But they just need to, they need to see the parallels about how you're accepting, but they're not, and then also it's fantasy. It doesn't mean it's gonna relate to real life. But let's try to finish this up because we're running long. I mean, we'll show everything else, but here was another tweet that they put. It just says, I won't send this one to you, tell me whatever. Just proof of both claims from the server we shared. There is a claim they're also into incest as well from their old call out, but I have yet to find it. So supposedly there's a call out that exists that Simi's into incest. They are referring to it. They have not found it, but they're also perpetuating that call out.
It's so
nobody
stupid.
has
I've never
insane.
been called out for incest in my life, dude. I've never drawn it. Like, what are you talking about? You're talking out of your ass. No one in the public internet has said, "Hey, you're into incest." In a public place, no one. So, but the fact, and yeah, like you said, like they don't know. They don't have the thing,
but they think they heard it and they continue it. It's so dangerous to like.
Oh, and I love the next slide.
Yeah.
Also, on their Twitter, their username is Simina-Cindy, and they wrote it with like slashes, so I guess I don't get notified by it. So block, please, for your own safety's sake. For your own safety, like they're talking like I'm running around with a fucking knife and stabbing people. For your own safety, like dude, I don't talk to people online. The only times when I leave comments online on anything is when it's a picture that I really like a drawing, and I'm like, oh, that drawing is really cool. That's it. I don't fucking talk about opinions. I don't share opinions. I don't talk to anyone, and this person is saying block for your own safety's sake. Like, how much can you blow something out of proportions, dude? It's insane.
Yeah, those people are just fucking crazy.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna bother showing all screenshots. I mean, they're like.
This one. Show the French.
Yeah. Of course. Here's one though, because I don't want. Yeah, wait, let me see. So here's an example of. This will come into play later, as well, but this here. They say. Forgot to include this as well, but she put not safe for work in many of the game's tags, and indirectly was the reason why the not safe for work tag had to be implemented by the creator herself. Crop to not show the actual picture in question, but be careful if you go on her Twitter. So, because porn is really dangerous, guys.
It is.
So basically, Simi, put some porn of this guy that she finds has the hots for, and you can see the tags, whatever. And from her perspective, she tagged it with not safe for work. So it's like, if people don't want to see it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, fuck, what the fuck are they talking about? Whatever. But eventually we thought about it and we were like, okay, but I guess if someone searches for the tag just smile for me, this can still come up unless they actively block not safe for work. I don't know if that's a thing on Twitter. So in the end, actually, I told her, I think you should remove it. And she was like, yeah, I agree. So we actually did something that they suggested, but they still were so aggressive from the beginning and like doing call out shit and stuff. Like, if you just come and tell the person, like, just try. Don't assume the worst. Like, if they just came and told me, I think this is...
Well, you know why they assume this shit? Probably because every other time in their life when they went to tell someone off, it was someone else who is like them.
Maybe.
Who would respond with, fuck you, yeah, aggressive back, So they assume that it's kind of like I just want to make a bracket. Like, sometimes some people who are liars all the time, they assume everyone else is also a liar, It's kind of like that with these people. They are like this. They assume everyone's like this. All
right, so here's another one.
Oh boy, I think I didn't even read this one, so I'm in for a treat, aren't I?
This one says, the top thing isn't that interesting, but I'll just read it anyway, just for context's sake. I'm not saying it's not okay to draw not safe for work of the adults, but this was literally in around many of the main tags of the game where minors can be exposed to this, and it's not good. At least now there is a tag for all not safe for work content. The adults are making not safe for work servers for this, but okay. So, okay, whatever. Who cares? They're saying it's okay in general. This behavior isn't acceptable, and we have to be wary of people like her in the fan base who not only post this on multiple of the game-related tags, but also are into non-con support a pedo artist. You don't support. They're somehow they've twisted this so much. But let's not say the same shit over and over again. It's really upsetting, but whatever. Hopefully I worded this right, but too long, do not read. Not safe for work content is okay to have of a media as long as you regulate it far away from minors and actually do your best not to expose them to this. If you don't consider this, then sadly you're dying on the wrong side of the hill.
Wow.
Weird way of dying on the wrong side of the hill is for having an opinion, but maybe this just eluded your mind to actually think of doing this, so you're not dying on any hill. And it's just so dramatic and a bit weird.
And I just want to make a point real quick. These so-called minors are fucking 16-year-olds. Like, what? You think 16-year-olds don't look at porn?
Yeah, that's point number one.
And
like, Tommy, can you think more or less when you discovered porn and started jacking it? Because
let's be honest, that's everyone around like 12, 13.
Legitimately, right? It is, and people act as if it's not. Maybe some do it later, some do it earlier. But like, I mean, yeah, I remember fucking talking about this stuff. I actually remember the moment a friend told me about masturbation when we were in year 6. I don't know how old I would have been then. End of primary school, year 6. It's like, I remember this stuff being introduced into my head. Like, I mean, yeah, and I don't know. Like, you think that there's no. I'm not even saying, like, you think there's no 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, whatever, looking for porn. But okay, you don't want it to actively be in any tag, whatever. Okay, and you did that, but they didn't give you a chance to do that. But also another thing that a lot of these people do is they forget that the age of consent is different all over the world. They again, being American and ignorant themselves, they're talking about racism, but they're kind of doing it themselves by not accepting other people's things. There's age of consents 16, 17, 15, 14, 13. Is there a cat in our room?
Yeah.
And they don't address it. It's not necessarily that we think any of those are better than 18 or that we don't think that they're better than 18, but the fact that they impose their own law, this 18 age of consent, to the rest of the world, it's stupid. It's very ignorant of them.
Yeah.
And even regardless, I mean, I'm of the belief that a 16-year-old, they're smart enough, they're horny enough, they can fuck other people. Like, okay, I mean, it gets a little bit weird when you like go to like 40-year-olds and shit. Obviously, it's a different.
Honestly, dude, a 40-year-old with an 18-year-old as well. That's not like.
With 18,
dynamics, but
yeah, like that's just an age gap. But you can't tell me now that an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old is super wrong.
Or a 19-year-old and 17-year-old. I don't know. It's just it's so it's too,
well, I mean,
it's too like written down. Like, I mean, life is life. People have reached different stages of maturity, and I get having a little bit of regulation to prevent for like fucked up situations, where maybe like people who aren't so sure might be manipulated and whatever. But the point is, they act as if 16-year-olds seeing this are like scarred.
Bait.
You know, like, I mean,
Yeah.
if they really didn't want to see it, they could block not safe for work. But fine, whatever. She removed it, like, you know.
Also, it was one picture.
It was one picture.
Literally one picture, and I deleted it. So whatever.
Anyway,
But
yeah.
yeah, like the age of consent, like dude, there are places where the age of consent is 13.
Yeah, and I think that's gross and weird, but
Yeah, it's weird, but you can't just fucking impose your own shit just because you think it's wrong. Like different people.
So here's
different
another
countries.
post. This is a reply to the original post where it was like, I can't believe the person who made this comic is a fangirl of Zone 10 and into non-con. And this person responds, I fucking knew it. Like, what did you know? What did you know that this person is into Zone 10? Like, what?
Like,
it's so there's nothing to know.
How does my quote-unquote racist comic imply that I would be into Zone? You know?
I just wanted to show it's just like kind of another example of the circle jerk, like mindless. I fucking knew it. You are telling me that this person is doing this shitty thing. I knew it. Like, first of all, you didn't know it, but also just like, I don't know. It's so.
The like best thing that you could have probably done is to just get them in voice, because people tend to like overreact.
Oh,
a lot
they
on,
don't.
like, text
They
and stuff.
don't. They wouldn't go.
I mean, yeah, they blocked her
maybe
before
they wouldn't
that.
have. But
And also,
yeah, maybe, but you
and also
could have,
this is a. You know, this isn't like a giant world controversy where we need to like. I mean, the healthiest thing to do about this would just be ignored and move on, which we did several times, but it kept coming back, and that's why we ended up talking about it here. It's almost therapeutic for us. But yeah, I mean, obviously, but it's dangerous behavior because it's like, I mean, if I was bigger or if Simi was bigger, who knows if this would have spread more, and like people ruin reputations of other people who could potentially be innocent, but no one really decides to give them a chance and let them prove themselves, you know. I see this shit a lot, like, yeah. But let me see. Here's another thing I wanted to show. I don't think you saw this one, Simi. Let me just give it to Tommy. Oh my god, what did I do? I hope I didn't explode my computer. Wait, is that the Smile For Me artist, or is it a similar style? No, Simi is a fan artist for the game. I was so worried. Thank you. You're welcome. Yugo is definitely not a person to be like this, and it's concerning how Simi is being mistaken for Yugo because she low-key impersonates the style pretty well. So you got a compliment out of them, Simi.
I like how it's low-key. Like,
yeah,
I do.
You do it very well. It's very impressive. Just Too Long Did Not Read. I like how this is Too Long Did Not Read. This is just a few words shorter, but okay. Just Too Long Did Not Read. Simi is a fan artist, and she's kind of known for being a bad apple in other fandoms.
No, I'm not.
It's so. This is the same person that keeps making these claims. Like.
Yeah,
what? Simi has never had shit like this in her life. She's not known in other fan. Like you were known in the FNAF fan community as like a really funny artist with your comics and stuff. And is that it? Were you in any other communities?
The only times I've been kind of popular in any community was the Five Nights at Freddy's, and it was in a good way. Everyone was like, "Oh, you make the funniest shit." It was mostly kids that looked at my shit, so it was just dumb slapstick basically. And and the only other time I can think of where I was kind of popular for a short time was when I did a My Little Pony musical, and I was just singing the part of a character, and it got kind of famous, and everyone was like, "Oh, you were."
Yeah, but that wasn't even in the community. That was like just on that video. People were like, "Oh."
No.
Oh, people came to you? Okay.
Yeah, people came to me, and it was like. Because it got
regardless
big,
though, known for being a bad apple. What are you talking about? And that's why, I mean, people say shit like this. Like, I've met, like, if you told me, Tommy, let's say hypothetical Alex, right? Oh, this Alex YouTuber, he's a dick, you know, he's an asshole, whatever. I'm not gonna I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. Like, despite how much I respect you and we're friends and stuff, you need to pay me for that line later. I will still meet Alex with an open mind and see if the things connect and if they actually make sense. People, I mean, like, it's different. Like, Tommy, you told the story earlier. What was it? Ubisoft, you know. I'll believe you there. There was like a lot of it was actually, we spoke about this off camera. Just whatever, just like Ubisoft revealed your real name, right? Sorry, I don't know if you didn't want that revealed or something.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
They revealed your real name without asking you, and it's like, come on, like, think about it, Ubisoft, right? Like, I mean, it's not a huge deal, whatever. But yeah, my point is, you need to choose when you jump on the bandwagon of hating someone or assuming that they're an asshole. Like, you need to really see real proof or have a personal experience or something, but people blindly do this shit. And
here's a pro tip. I don't think that like works on Twitter or whatever, but if somebody's making like dumb claims, ask them to substantiate them, and if they don't, keep asking. It's like really awkward. It feels really awkward, especially if you like do it in voice. But it feels really awkward to just keep asking the same question, but it's way more awkward for them to not answer.
And the thing is, these guys blocked us on Twitter, so we can't even, like, that's how they act. They're like, you know, put up a wall.
Like, they don't even give you a chance to say shit. They're like, oh, fucking asshole, block. You wanna show the next thing?
Yeah, so the next thing, here you go, Tommy. Which one is it? I lost it. I think it's this. Don't worry, guys, we're almost done. So then there was a post about me. That's the one that I found. I want to add that their friend MrWoodenSheep ass kisses them to hell and back and is blinded by friend bias. I suggest y'all block them too, because they're like their hound dog, pouncing at detractors and defending this bimbo through thick and thin. I mean,
wait, I like that they call you bimbo.
Bimbo.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
I want to disassemble it. Racist? Is bimbo racist?
Bimbo is like, for my knowledge, bimbo is like a racist term for like a slur for like black or like like an African sort of person.
Is it?
Wait, let me actually look at it. That's how it was.
Bimbo just mean like kind of.
I thought it's like slut. Yeah, I thought bimbo means something like that.
Damn. Okay, wait. We didn't.
I mean, who fucking knows?
In school, but okay.
All right. Anyway, whatever. So
but yeah,
let me talk about it. Ass kisses them to hell and back. I mean, there was only one example of me defending her. One. So you can't say asses them. And also, I mean, you guys read what I said, right? Like, I was very respectful. I was like really analyzing it all. And also, you even saw here in the podcast, like, we're not yes men. We're disagreeing with each other and stuff sometimes. Because I agreed with Simi, this person says that I should be blocked. Like, what logic is that? If in a discussion, in a controversy, if someone agrees with a side, I'm not gonna block them. It doesn't.
I mean, they're just gonna.
It's such an extreme reaction.
The thing is that they just like. I feel like they just want to leash out on people. I don't know. They have like some anger that they built up over the years,
and
they want to leash out on people and then not have. They just don't want to have retaliation.
They don't realize that. I said this to Simi yesterday. This thing stems from a good place, like. You know, weed out racists, weed out whatever, because we want everyone to be accepted and happy and whatever, right? But they don't realize that if you do try to do a good thing in such an extreme way, you'll cause problems. And I gave the analogy to Simi, like, it's like if you're trying to scrub dirt off of your skin with a sponge. If you keep scrubbing or scrub too hard, like, you're gonna wound yourself. And it's like, these people are scrubbing where it's not needed. We are not bad people. We did one thing and they twisted it, and it expands to other people and whatever, and now in their group they're probably laughing at, like, remember those fucking bimbo hound dog fucking people that, like.
Can I just say real quick that they didn't even have the fucking brains to call you a sheep. Like they said hound dog. The insult slash joke was handed to them right there. You have sheep in your name, and they couldn't even do that right.
But yeah, and then they screenshotted my thing. That's why I have the screenshot of my paragraph. So it's almost like thank you to them, because it's so strange, because they post this and they say that is true. Also, in the same server we shared, they left a huge wall of text defending Simi despite multiple people uncomfortable with them. I mean, first of all, this post came before people were uncomfortable with me, and then afterwards they all became uncomfortable. But I was talking. I wish I screenshotted it, because like it was really ridiculous the way they were reacting. But anyway, again, too long, did not read, and it's like almost the same length. Chat did take care of them. Yeah, they bullied me out. They're unwelcome in the server again, but yikes. And then he screenshotted my shit, and it's just so funny because it's the stuff that I said is so contradictory to what they were accusing me of, and they are giving the proof.
Yeah, like it just shows how delusional they are, that they actually think this.
Here's the best part, though.
Oh no! Oh right, this is like unrelated. The Wallace thing.
No.
Oh,
the French thing. Did I not screenshot it?
You did. It was. Wait. Close this. Close this.
I want to see. This is so good, Tommy. This is so good.
I saw it. Let me just show it. It's that one.
This? No, it's not. I didn't screenshot it.
Well.
Okay, talk about the other thing, and I'll crop this and I'll censor their names while you talk about the Wallace thing.
Right. So this is like kind of unrelated.
Yeah, try go through it quickly so we can be done with this bullshit.
Yeah. This is like a bit unrelated to the rest of the shit, but it's still within the same fandom, and it's still stupid. So okay, so Tommy and viewers, in the game there's a character called Wallace, and you don't see this character, so you just see his eye. So based on that, people make like their own versions of him. You know what I mean? Like they come up with, oh, this is what my Wallace looks like, you know, and that's all good and fun. And I was looking at.
Wait, sorry, real quick. What was the game called? Smile with me or
Smile for me?
For me, okay. Because
it's a really good game.
I was looking up like the character, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this Wallace guy, we don't know what he looks like, but a lot of people make designs for him. So one day I was looking through these Wallaces that people made, and I found one that I really liked. I thought it was the best one, and I commented on it, and I said something like, "Heck yeah, I really like him." You know, like I was like, "Yeah," you know. They didn't answer. I was like, whatever. And then later on, I I wanted to write a fanfiction, a sexy fanfiction with this guy Wallace and the Indian guy Kamal. And again, and it didn't have fucking non-con or anything like that. It was just very casual fucking, like it wasn't crazy or anything. And I was like, I like this person's Wallace so much that I'm using specifically that design in my fanfiction. Like that's how I want to imagine him. You know what I mean? So I wrote that. Like there's this website for fanfictions, and it's all regulated with where there's porn and shit, so you don't have to worry about protecting people or whatever. So I put all the naughty tags and shit, so everyone knows that it's porn. And I wrote there, oh, for this fanfiction, I'm using specifically this design for Wallace, and I linked to that person's Twitter drawing, and that's it. They never messaged me at all, this person, but just completely by chance, I was just on the game tag on Twitter, and I saw another fucking call out post, and it was from this person, and they said something like, can you open?
I'll show it in a sec. Yeah, I'm just saving this. I mean, I don't need to save it, it's fine.
Yeah, they basically said like
I'll open a second.
Like, oh,
here it is.
If you...
So sorry, did you say that you like you mentioned it?
That's not wrong.
No, this is the correct thing. Here, it's from here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts with, here you go, Tommy. It starts from bottom up.
No, wait, it's not. That's not the first one.
It is. Trust me.
No, the original one is the it's the drawing one. That's the original. This comes after.
No.
Just trust me, man.
Bro. Anyway, here you go. It doesn't really matter anyway. Here you go. So there you go, Tommy.
From bottom to top?
Bottom to top, you can see it's part 1.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, so I'm a minor and want to keep porn out of here at all costs, but I was recently informed that my design for Wallace from Smile For Me was using a fic by Simina-Cindy. I know nothing about them and wasn't asked before the design was used. I'm completely fine with people using my designs with credit, which they did, but since the fic was a not safe for work one, I don't want people thinking I associate with them for that, since once again, I'm a minor.
What the fuck?
By the way, they're 16. Again, ridiculous thing to refer to yourself as a minor. I can't imagine in my life a 16-year-old who would ever have been like, don't show, so prude, yeah, like, and whatever, it's their choice. I don't really want to knock it, but I'm just saying it's so ridiculous to me for a 16-year-old to be like, you know, like, no, please. And also, no one's gonna associate you with them. Simi used this shit on her own and whatever. Anyway, it doesn't even seem like they're bothered. Yeah, what?
Just real quick, because like I looked up the character and it's literally like all I can find is this eye and like
that's all he is. Yeah.
So like how the did Simi use the art?
No, I didn't use the art because it's a fanfiction, so it's just text. So,
but did you just like use his art as like you described him like he is?
No. She literally just said, when you're reading this, imagine that Wallace looks like this design, and she linked their picture.
Oh,
that's
okay.
it. So it was just like, this is the headcanon of this fanfic. This is how he's meant to look like, because you know what the other guy looks like. That's all. It was just like, I like this design, I'm gonna use this one, and this is how I'm imagining it. But anyway, I was gonna say that it's so weird that they're not even saying they don't like the porn or anything. They're just like, I'm a minor, so therefore it's wrong. Because these people, it seems they're really, despite how much they want to get fucked in the ass and get eaten by these characters and stuff, on the outside they act very prude, to the point where it's so extreme and unbelievable, because you know that.
And some of these people, like, I really don't understand this mentality. Like, this was in another server unrelated to this, but there was a person who was the same, like 16 or something, and they were saying how, oh, I really want to look at porn, but I can't because I'm a minor. Like,
can you believe that, Tommy?
No one's fucking stopping you. No one's stopping you, dude. You can look up this
Dude,
shit.
when I was like 13, I put myself as 18 plus and I looked at porn and I played Halo when I wasn't meant to and shit, like the Xbox Live didn't let me. Like, I mean, again, it's just kids will be kids, and if they feel that they've reached the level of maturity, that's when they're gonna start seeking this out and want to learn about it and look at it, right? So
dude, I would never do this, but I have a friend. Who,
sorry, I just want to finish that by saying I'm not saying I would like, here, kid, you know, like that Yakuza mission, take this porn magazine, right? I'm not saying do that, but it's just like, if they happen upon it, and yeah, I mean, you can do your job, like, you know, they said don't put it in the tag, whatever. You can do your job to prevent them from running into it. That's fine. In like where it would be an innocent place in the first place, that's fair, fine. But this person is so weird. Anyway, yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying, like you, if you're like 12 and or even before that, you probably like randomly stumble into porn. It happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I would never do this. I had a friend who will not be named, but he downloaded like illegal software somewhere. Okay, he torrented it, and back then, look, early 2010s, late 2000 were a rough time if you wanted to like get stuff. So that person downloaded some game and instead got horse porn.
Oh,
so that was something they didn't want to see at all.
That was something that I was shown stuff like that when I was a kid by my friends.
Yeah, fuck that.
And it's like, ugh.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Dude, something similar happened to me and my dad, where, because when I was a kid, he just got games for me, whatever, and he downloaded this quote-unquote Pokemon game, and it just was porn, and he like played it in front of me, and he's like, oh shit, and he was like the fucking panic. That was like, I was just laughing my ass off. That was the funniest shit, because I was still a kid, like actual kid, but whatever, I wasn't bothered by it. I just thought it was fucking hilarious how he panicked. I was like, oh no, how to stop it, and I think he just turned off the computer or some shit.
Yeah, it's like I feel like it's really crazy, and like again, it's kind of an American thing, but it happens in the EU obviously as well. But people are just so like crazed out by nudity. It's like it's the worst thing ever. Like literally, like half the
in Europe,
population
it's much better.
has a
In Europe,
it
it's
is,
much
but,
better
like,
than America. Like, you see
it
nudity
definitely
and
is.
stuff. And,
Yeah, it's like it just seems so weird to me how it's okay to show gore and decapitation and all that shit, but oh my god, a nipple! Oh,
yeah, but I mean,
no, not the nipple.
well, these guys aren't talking about. I mean, they probably would also complain about that, but sex is very different to just nudity.
Yeah, sure. But whatever, it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, here's the next thing. So they did that post, whatever, and then like they made this call out post. Like, the first one was like, okay, whatever. But then they made this call out post, which you see this kind of stuff, like they put so much effort. It's like to make your fans laugh at this fucking rude ass person or stupid person or whatever. But it's like, Simi did nothing to this person, and this is what they created out of it. So they made this post. If you want to write shit, be original. The eye patch is medical, and Wallace likes making up stories about how he lost his eye to seem cooler.
Right. For the context is that so there Wallace had an eye patch, and in my fanfiction I said, imagine this but without the eye patch.
That's all she said. She didn't shit talk the eye patch or whatever. It was just like, imagine this but without the eye patch, because she likes to look more. And they out of they created this. First of all, if you want to write shit, be original. I mean, dude, she wrote the whole story is original just because, like, if you use another character instead of Wallace, another character that you see fully, then it's original. But because you're still using Kamal's design from the game officially. Like, it doesn't negate everything else. So that's a stupid statement in the first place.
It's not like Wallace is their character.
Like, yeah, the design is, sure, the design is, but it doesn't mean that it negates everything else. And it's just kind of like, it's thoughtless, because yeah, if Wallace had an original design in the game and you use that, then they would think that it's still original, it's fine. But because you use their design, it's not. Anyway, but the stupider part, the eye patch is medical, and Wallace likes making up stories. Like, they have a problem that you remove the eye patch? Why?
But also, they don't realize, like, they're giving this backstory to this real character.
Yeah.
Like, your fucking shit is not in the game, so I don't care about it. In the game, he doesn't have an eye patch that we know of. He doesn't make up stories about how he lost his eye.
Like, how could you know that?
How could I know that? And also, it's not official, so I don't care.
But anyway,
it's law to counteract you.
But like, and they show a screenshot. We didn't take good screenshots, and I went and looked for the tweet. Now I couldn't find it. But yeah, it's a screenshot of the computer, and it shows that thing. Like, so much effort into this call out post for someone who doesn't deserve it. Like, they do all this as if like there's solid proof that Simi sucks, and it's like, what the fuck? It's so weird. But yeah, Simi says like, for this fanfic, you can see at the bottom in the notes. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing it on thingy. I'm using a specific design of Wallace, and there's a link. The only difference is that you can see both of his eyes. Like, that's how she wrote it, dude. That's how she wrote it. And then the second picture, which is also cropped out, you can see it's like there's this Wallace here. He's like doing some stupid eye. What the fuck is this shit, man, on my Steam? And then Kamal pops out over here, and you can't see it's cropped out, but he's got a baseball bat, like he's ready to beat the shit out of Simi for removing the eye patch from Wallace. Like, he's actually got a baseball bat in his hand.
That's insane.
That's
actually insane.
It's so aggressive. Like, dude, she was she's using your thing like she liked it, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man?
And the next picture is my response.
It's her response. I don't know. Was it a just direct message, or I don't know how Twitter works really.
It was me commenting on the original.
Right, on the post, the call out or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's on the call out. Yeah.
You could have just messaged me personally, and I wouldn't have been opposed to removing the mention of your design. Instead of making a call out post like this, if it really bothers you, I'll remove it. I would have expected someone to be happy that I like their design enough to use it in my fanfiction, not respond aggressively. I praised your design and made him almost my headcanon, yet it bothers you so much that I had a small change in mind. And they never responded. And like I said, I couldn't find the post, so I don't know if they removed their post out of anger, or maybe they realized that they were wrong but they didn't say shit. I don't know.
Something tells me, like, I don't know, after all this shitfest, I have such little faith in these people, that I don't think that this person necessarily felt bad or realized that they were wrong. I think it was more like, oh, I affected them so much that now their character is ruined to them, and so they deleted it because they don't want to be reminded by it. That's how these people are. I bet you it's some shit like that. But it's
alright, but here's the last thing. We can finally move on from this shit. I think it's really funny. I didn't censor as.
Oh, right.
It's a bit like, doesn't look as nice, but whatever. I did it quickly now. So, this is their response to
censoring.
After my thank man. After my paragraph. This is posted after my paragraph. They screenshots of my paragraph. The racism against French people made me laugh. God, what a clown. Hon Hon Baguette is now racist.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, Maurice, I have to kill you now for being racist, francophobe. Fuck, whatever. Like, they don't see the irony. First of all, I didn't say it was racist. I clearly said afterwards, it would be like if I was offended by this thing, which is even more of a specific stereotype. And I gave more examples. I didn't say just French. I also said, like, oh, because she's a mime and she's talking gibberish and other characters make fun of her. I said all that stuff.
And she has the beret.
And at the end, I said, I don't see that as offensive, because the creators are just being silly with it, right? They're just being silly with it. But they don't realize that Hon Hon Baguette is as stereotypical as, like, so if someone said ching chong ching chopsticks, that would be racist, but Hon Hon Baguette is not, because they're white. Or hurdy-gurdy, give me my Swedish IKEA meatballs, right? That would not be racist, but oh no, curry, that would be racist, right? So these people don't realize, I'm not saying this is racist, and I'm also saying that the comic is not racist. I'm just drawing a parallel and telling you why they're not that different. But it's so beautifully done, the way they were like, hon hon baguette. Like, Dude, if you don't think this is racist, it's the same level as the other thing. It's the same thing.
It's just they don't realize how hypocritical they are. Like, they are being the same level of racist, I guess. Like, they're saying, like, seriously, if I said ho curry, that they would shit on me. But ho baguette.
I really think the difference is it stems from a subconscious place that they don't realize. It's that China, Asian people, like or Indian people or whatever, they were discriminated in America, whereas Swedish people not really, German people not really, right? So I think it's like extra compensation for these people. We need to protect them. Like, subconsciously it makes sense, but they need to realize that it shouldn't work that way.
Well, yeah, that's like there's like two things playing together here. The first one is that, and I'm very, very guilty. Well, I'm not anymore, but I used to be very, very guilty of this. A lot of times you like form an opinion and then you stick to it.
Yeah, like they don't,
like, regardless if it's true or not, and then they like, you don't really research it. You just like kind of repeat whatever the fuck you're hearing.
You react to it. That's what I'm saying. It's all knee-jerk reaction. Yeah.
Kind of, but like you can have this like through your entire life, so it's not really like knee-jerk. Like, it's a general, like you form your entire idealism around this entire around like
you don't think per situation. Like, this angered me so much. I was gonna just put the screenshots up, whatever, but I calmed down before making this podcast, and I said I'm gonna censor their names, I'm gonna whatever the fuck. And even the paragraph that I wrote, another thing, it's like I thought of it. I really try to formulate my opinion in a way that's clear, won't be misunderstood, and I think it's fair. And I consider their points, but they don't do the same. Anyway.
Yeah, but the other thing that goes into that together with that is that people just don't want to be wrong. And if they are wrong, even if they realize, they kind of stick to it anyways, to like make themselves feel better about it.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I wanted to say, like, Super EPF in the chat is saying either everything is racist or nothing is, and I basically wanted to say that, like, you can't, like, that's the problem today. Like, I hate that, like you said, like, oh, ching chong, whatever, that's racist, but ho ho, that's not racist. Like, it's the same shit. They can be
the same level. They're somewhere in between, it's kind of like...
The fact, dude, the fact that in their mind, the feelings of a French person are less worthy than the feelings of an Indian or Chinese person, that is literally racism. They are doing the thing they are against, and they don't even realize. That's how hypocritical they are. That's how delusional they are. Like,
if you want to eliminate,
and wait, sorry, and I always see this fucking argument from Americans, which pisses me off. They're like, "Oh, white people have never been discriminated," and it's like, bro, just because in America that didn't happen, like, just because white Americans have never been discriminated, like, tell that shit to Poland,
I mean, yeah.
Tell that shit to Ireland.
Like, white people are you can't just, like, white Americans are so different to Russian whites and Swedish whites and Cypriot whites. I mean, they all experience completely different histories and what they've gone through.
That's kind of a point. And that's kind of like a really good point, though, because like right now in this current moment, white people in, like, let's say, like, the middle European countries and America aren't really discriminated against. If you have like a black guy or, I don't know, a Hispanic guy, I can find like a million slurs to throw at your face, and you might even be affected by it. But if you're a white guy, you have like there's nothing you can really say to that like offends them. You can call them a white bread, I guess.
I mean,
but that's pretty much
forgetting slurs, I do think it's a pretty bad insult to assume that because you're white, you're racist, for example. Like, that's a thing that a lot of Americans say. I think that's a really bad, it's a really bad assumption. It's like, it's harmful.
Tommy, you're right. Like, there's not many words that are insulting to white people, but there are many things. Like, for example, I don't know what, there was some like game company or something where it's like, oh, we only hire people of color and women.
My friend was at our house and he was looking for jobs on his phone. And it literally, it specified non-white. We want non-white, and it was something where it was really not needed, like a desk
artist or something.
Because
that's
the company
illegal. That should be falling under discrimination.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people will scoff at us saying this now, like, white people, like, you can't, whatever. But these are the same people who like kind of have this mentality, like you described, Tommy, where they're not really considering new ideas. Like, Yeah, you're right. At a certain time, you couldn't really be discriminated against as being white, not necessarily. But now a lot of people have this like, extreme, like, as a white, like they think like this, like, oh, in America, for example, us white people have been privileged, whatever, but everyone else has been suffering. Now let's turn it down to 11 and like do the opposite. It's
but
like,
that's not really happening though. Like you never really get discriminated as a white
no.
person.
I'm not saying like it's not in the same way where like you. But I mean, like, not finding a job is already something, or being told that I'm privileged without knowing my life, or assuming that I'm racist because I'm white or whatever.
Like, yeah,
There's
dude,
a lot
like
of
I fucking sorry, just it
oh,
really
sorry,
pisses
just
me
I was
off.
gonna one last point. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah.
like a lot of people also will disregard your opinion because, or a white person's opinion because they're white. Like, I mean, I remember, Simi, you had a friend who was doing that, who said something and it's like, white people, and it's like, to me, that's such a stupid statement. With any race, you insert any race in that sentence, black people, whatever. It's like, what are you talking about? It's not a thing of race. It's just this one situation that you dislike, you somehow associate it to the race that the person was in. Like in Cyprus, for example, I should say, white people, there's lots of white people that are discriminated against because Cypriots are half white, half brown, kind of. Like, it's, you find everyone like that. But there's a lot of people, like I told you, I spoke earlier, Indians, Filipinos, they come in and they're minorities and they don't have like the best treatment, like I said earlier. But the same thing happens with Russians and Georgians here. Ukrainians, they come here from Eastern Europe, they're poor, and if one of them does a crime, Cypriots are like, fuck these Georgians, they're coming here and ruining our society. It's the same shit. Like, you can't, if you truly want to eliminate racism and stuff, just don't associate race with anything that one person has done. Just judge each situation individually and treat everyone equally. But these people flip it and they like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just I want to say like how they say, oh, white people are always privileged, but it's like, dude, I I've been like I grew up in such shitty ass country, like butthole of the world, fucking ruined by communist ass country. You can't tell me that I was privileged. And I hate that the people who tell me this shit are the American people who have fucking pools in their house and shit. Like, you are the fucking privileged bitch. Just because you are white and privileged doesn't mean that everyone who's white is privileged. Like, I lost my fucking house to bullshit. I was fucking like basically homeless, but just I got lucky to find a place, whatever. And other shit. Like, I'm not gonna go in detail, but like like my country, there's so many homeless people, there's so much corruption, everyone's getting shot on. It's not fun, and
It's
no
just
one's it's
it's
not
just
privileged.
in seeking justice, these people just are a bit too extreme. I think that's all. Like, you just need to,
Yeah.
you need to, most things in life need to be somewhere in the middle. Like,
Yeah.
calm down, think of, formulate your opinion properly, consider the other sides, and then I really think most things in life just belong somewhere in the middle. You can lean in towards one opinion or whatever, but somewhere in the middle. Like, yeah. Not all, you, in the same way that not all black people are the same, not all white people are the same, and let's just all love each other. Like, I don't know, like, go back, think of what you started this whole crusade for, because you want equality. Keep it that way. Just treat everyone the same. Don't assume shit about anyone. Because people,
pretty much,
when they're trying to defend something, they cause harm to it. They make it look bad. Like me and Simi always say, like, feminism came from a good place, but there were so many crazy feminists that they ruined the image, and now if you say you're feminist, you're laughed at. But it's only a positive thing. Feminism, to be equal to men, right? Like, that's what you want. You just want gender equality. But people go, or like veganism, some religious groups, like fucking Jehovah's Witness has a bad rep, like, oh, knocking on the door and like being intrusive. It's like, just chill, like, with whatever you're trying to tell people. You're trying to get them on your side, chill with it.
Yeah, there's so many things that I'm embarrassed to say that I am because of bad rep. Like feminists. Like, back when feminism first started, I was like, yeah, of course I'm that. Like, equal rights, obviously.
Oh yeah, back
right?
in the 1920s and 30s.
No, I'm saying
when she was growing up, it's still a movement now.
I'm saying when it like became really popular on the internet is what I meant, because it was kind of died down at some point, and then it kind of rose up again. And I was like, basically when I discovered what it means, I was like, oh yeah, obviously equal rights. But then all these misandrists appeared out of the ground and started being shitty, but they were calling themselves feminists, and it's like it just got ruined. And that's the problem with these kind of things. It's a vicious cycle. You know, like back in the day, it was like women sucked, and now it's like, oh, equal rights. But there's so many women who got affected, are so angry about the past that they channel their anger at innocent men, and now they cause men to hate them. So they make it again that women suck.
Everybody
You get what I'm
everybody
saying?
needs to calm down and like this. Yeah.
And unfortunately, right now, this is happening with the LGBT people, and like I am one of them, but I get embarrassed to say that because it's like when I see how obviously not everyone, but there's so many like all these people that we talked about Smile for Me, they always shove it in your face that they're LGBT, and it's like okay, cool.
Well, that's not even necessarily the problem, but also they'll also shit on straight people, for example.
Yeah, they shit on
or assume that you make one joke and they'll assume that you're against them. It's like I support you, man.
And dude, no exaggeration. One of the people in that server said that they can't stand cis men. Like that was their trigger warning. And it's like that's literally fucking sexist, dude. You can't just say.
Why are you intolerant to me if I didn't meet you? And if people now scoff at that, why would you, like, because I'm white or male or straight or whatever? It's like, think about why are you scoffing at that? Do my feelings not matter? You know?
Like dude, it's like because you know this server, like when you go in the server, you introduce yourself. They encourage you to write your triggers because that's how these people are. And if someone wrote that their trigger is trans people, they would be instantly shitted on. But it's okay.
Can you give me a link to that server?
What?
No, don't go bully.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
like if someone would say, "Oh, trans people trigger me," you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
I don't get. Yeah.
But if you say, "Oh, cis men trigger me," that's okay. It's the same shit. It's literally the same shit.
I don't get going into a server and like in a chat you introduce your triggers and shit. So like, how does it work? Like when you're if I have a conversation with you, Tommy, I'm like, shit, let me go look at his triggers real quick to make sure I don't mention something. Like, how does it work? How do you are they actively memorizing everyone's? Is it like school where you're learning geography and you're like, the one like a boot, Italy, and then these people are like, Tommy, the Ubisoft guy, he hates rats. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about rats. Like, it's such a ridiculous thing. Anyway.
Yeah, you can't.
Like they were talking constantly about shit that I fucking hate, like force feeding. But whatever, man. Just let them. I just moved. I just didn't
don't
look at
it. Yeah, and if it's all the time, then you don't go to that server. There's ways to solve this stuff. Anyway, guys, I think
finally we've.
Like I really like.
It's a long one.
To make it clear, it means to me really the healthiest thing is to just like ignore it, but just they kept coming after us, and now they stopped. It resurged because of that game dev. I found those old posts, but it's like I don't know, maybe some people watching this, I'll have hope for them. If they felt the way that those people did, maybe they changed their mind. And if not, then seriously feel free to tell us in the comments if you have a differing opinion. But do it calmly and, like, you know, give people a chance. Like, and I really hope if anyone's talking about this topic, they watched the whole segment, because we made very good points that, like, you don't want to lose out on any context. But I don't think... I mean, the reason I also felt comfortable doing this now is because I'm a smaller YouTuber, and like after like 1-2 weeks, it's only gonna be like 50 people watch the podcast, so it's not like gonna spread. And I censored their names. I don't want to stoke the fires and shit. So.
And most of the times, those people, I think you don't have many people like that watching.
No, I think most people are normal on my channel.
Normal, or maybe young people who are still too young to be like this.
Before you leave your comment, also say if you like licorice or not, because... And also if you live in the north or south, because we need to get to the bottom of this stereotype. Tommy's stereotyping people. Are people in the north... You said they like licorice?
It's not a stereotype.
I'm joking.
Fucking fact.
I'm joking. So you said north people like licorice?
Yes, the people in the north like licorice because the winds are salt from the sea.
But why? What does north have to do with the sea?
Because I don't know. Have you ever seen a map of Germany?
You're talking about specifically Germany. Okay.
Specifically Germany.
Okay.
Yes.
So just tell us if you like licorice or not. Tell us if you like licorice or not, and also if you're near the coast. That's what they should be answering.
I should probably try licorice again. I tried licorice mints and they were okay.
So what is it? It's like licorice and it's also minty.
That sounds
awful. No, dude, it was like okay.
That's terrible.
That's like the two worst tastes put together.
Wait.
Oh, he went to get it.
No, I have the box still here. So it's like a metal, like a tin box. Oh my god, it's been like look. I have like a corner where I shove things that I never touch again. This box was in that corner, and I haven't touched it in like probably like 2 months. It's still smelling like licorice.
I mean, yeah. What do you expect? It's not good.
It's insane. It's empty.
Oh.
There's not empty anymore. Like it's just an empty tin box. But yeah, so like it was in like a plastic wrapping, like in what do you call that? The like airless plastic wrap thing. And like there was this tin box in the plastic, and I was like, what the fuck is that in like the plastic? And then I like ripped the plastic open, and immediately the entire room smelled of licorice.
Oh my god.
And it's just like it's pretty much it was just mints, and they smell and taste a little bit like licorice. That's it. There's not more to it.
Good.
That was good.
We have like 10 more minutes to the 3-hour mark. I kind of wanted just like to lighten stuff up. I just want to just like I want to get through, because also I had some stuff to talk about from last time we did an episode that was like a month ago that I didn't get to talk about. So just real quick, I want to breeze through this stuff.
The sandwich is very thick. The shit was a lot bigger than expected.
It was, yeah, it was a shit sandwich.
It was, it was a log. I thought it was gonna be like a small nugget, like when you're constipated, but it was a log.
Dude, I prepared for a gaming podcast. We haven't talked about anything.
We talked about the Cuphead thing. Yeah, we talked about a few things.
All right, I had like so many things prepared, but it's okay.
Really,
I'll save it for next time.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk a little about maybe we'll see, but this was necessary.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
This was necessary for me.
And also technically, our drama started from a game, so there you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, like all these characters, it's gaming drama, you know.
And now the viewers are leaving. They're like, gaming? What the fuck?
I came here for the drama.
Gaming in my SJW podcast.
So, I wanted to quickly say before we go way too far from that, I finished Resident Evil Revelations 2 like last year.
Wow.
It was so long ago at this point, but I wanted to say it was really good, and it did.
It wasn't actually last year.
No, it was like 2 months ago or something though. And they did some really cool enemy styles. Like, can I talk about it, Tommy? Or I mean, just
I don't care.
One enemy type. So basically, you play as many characters, whatever. But it's at some point, enemies introduced where you're playing as an adult, like you're an adult man, and there's a little girl with you, and she can see the enemies, but you can't. And she says like something's coming closer, and you're like, oh my fucking god, what are you seeing? And then she like points at it and she's like, over there, more right, more left. And you like just aim in the air, like you see nothing. And then she's like, there, shoot. And then you start shooting, you see like blood splatters fly out. And then eventually that's how you kill the enemy. And that's an enemy that's introduced into the game. And I just wanted to talk about it because I think that's such an interesting concept. Like, to be directed to shoot at something that you don't see. I thought that was really unique. I haven't fought an enemy like that before.
That's pretty cool.
One complaint about the game though, it's like episodic, and when you finish it, it's like in the next episode, and then it starts spoiling shit, and it's like
like an anime intro.
Because I think the game was originally sold as an episodic thing, like Telltale games where they release every now and again. But it's like I don't want to see that in any context. I'm that kind of person. At least you could skip it in Revelations 2, but I remember when I played Walking Dead, they didn't let you skip it, and I had to like turn off my monitor and wait 2 minutes. I hate that shit.
Yeah,
I hate that shit. Yeah, Revelations 2 is good. I started Zelda Skyward Sword. I really wanted to talk about this. Like, have you played that one, Tommy? You said you have before, right?
I
only once or something.
I didn't. I didn't like. I think I didn't even make it to the first dungeon the first time, and now.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm playing on an emulator right now.
So
back then I had it on. back then I had it on my Wii U, but now I'm playing on emulator and
Wait, Wii U? So that means they removed
just on my Wii, just on my Wii. Sorry. Yeah, back then I had the controller, but now I don't have that luxury. Man. I should definitely get one.
Seriously, if you were in person, I would have given you like I have an adapter where you can connect it, and it's basically a Wii sensor bar. Yeah, that's how I've been playing.
I should get that.
Yeah,
I tried just real quick. I tried. I should probably like keep going. I went into the first dungeon, and you probably went past the first dungeon already,
right? Way past it.
Okay, cool.
This is the first Zelda game that I've played more than you. Like we came into this whole experiment. I played 0 Zelda games. You've played them all. You're like super Zelda fan.
Yeah, and now exactly. I just didn't like Skyward Sword because dude, I feel like the intro took like 2 hours. I was like fucking done after that.
It really clicked with me. I liked it a lot, but it's very hit or miss when games have intros like that. Like Kingdom Hearts has one like that, where it's like you basically take like 2 hours to get into the game.
I like managed to get through most of the stuff. Like I had to like map the movement of the sword really awkwardly. Like I have
that's such a way to ruin the game, man.
Some buttons have like multiple, like my right joystick is like swing sword but also point sword, and I have to like switch between 3 different modes. Dude, one for when I'm flying, one for when I'm swinging. And I literally in the first dungeon there's like an eye where it's like, oh, you have to like do something, you have to like confused or something. And I'm like, what can I do? And I tried everything for like an hour, and then I like looked it up. And I had to like swing my sword in like a circle to confuse that damn eye. It took me like 2 hours of like remapping and redoing my controller until I finally could do that.
I'm telling you, I'm like halfway in the game. It's not worth playing the way you're doing. It just gets worse. It just gets worse. Maybe do you have your Vive controller with you? Can you somehow do it like that?
No, I don't. I don't think I can.
Just wait.
Can I connect it like that?
Just wait. And yeah. But I wanted to say I went into the game really like kind of burnt out on the Zelda formula because I've been playing them back to back, and you know they don't change that much. They change a bit, but you know, really burnt out, and I was kind of like, I don't feel like swinging a sword around with my controller. But I went into it, and it's one of my favorite Zelda games. Really.
Yeah, it's really, like the sword swing. I can definitely see that being really. Even on the controller, it feels really satisfying. Like
I was so not into the idea.
The first couple enemies. The thing is, they really like made it work really nicely. Yeah. Like the like at the start you get like these there's Deku something. I forgot what they're called. Fuck, the Deku plants. And you have to like defeat them by swinging the sword either like up
piranha
and down.
Shits,
You have to like either swing it vertically or horizontally, and like that's really satisfying.
It is. I thought it would be gimmicky, but I'm still not tired of it. It feels so cool, and they introduce more enemies like that where you really need to choose the direction of your swing. And I don't know if you tried this, you would have gotten the opportunity, but like there's like fruit that you can impale, like pumpkins and stuff, and if you stab it with your sword, it'll be stuck to your sword, and you can like wave it and throw it away. And there's like physics stuff like awesome. That. It's so fun. And like cutting up trees, it's like Metal Gear Rising. They did stuff like that where you like chop it up exactly how you want. I thought I would get tired of it, but it's honestly really satisfying. The only annoying thing is it kind of like it loses where your pointer is a lot, and I'm sure that's part of like that's expected because the game constantly reminds you when you get a new item, it's like if it ever feels uncentered, press down on the arrow, and you have to do it a lot. But anyway,
I didn't have that problem at least.
Yeah, you didn't have that. But really save your playthrough and play it when you can properly. I love it though. It's a really good game. It suffers a little bit from what other Zelda games did, where I'm at the point now where it's like it's going a little bit too long, and it's making me do kind of like repeating some, like go back through places I've already been. Like all the Zelda games do that.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Wait, how complicated does it really get? Because I actually managed to like fly that bug thing, bug shooter. That I can fly like properly, and I finished the second. No, I didn't finish it, but I think I started the second dungeon, and I beat Garium the first time too.
Well, the only way it gets more complicated. I mean, if you can fly around stuff, that's cool, easy. The only other more complex bit is just enemies. Like you'll have to really quickly react what direction to slash them at. But if you can do that easily, like quickly change your direction of slash, then you should be okay.
I can probably.
And if you're enjoying it
I'll
like
see.
that, if you're having fun with it like that.
Yeah, I will probably keep going, but I had like so much other stuff that I wanted to play.
Yeah, yeah.
So I took a little bit of a break from it because oh my god, it was so much configuring.
That
It took
sounds
me
awful.
so
and then
long.
you stopped playing after all that work.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it like frustrated me.
All I have to say about this game is that the auto-tune lady is a bit annoying. It gets
She
on my
is
nerves.
really annoying.
Oh, you think the same? She's worse than like Navi. I always grew up seeing people like, I hate Navi in Ocarina of Time, and I was fine with that little fairy motherfucker.
Okay, so here's the difference between Navi and Fi. Fi, or like Navi is like, hey, there's a literally, hey, there's a vine you can climb. You can go up and climb it, and then it's like, oh, there's a door. You can like press A to open the door, and then she like shuts the fuck up for the rest of the time. Fi is like, hey, here's this thing that's super obvious. You have to do this, and then like a minute later, it's like, hey, you really have to do this.
All
like,
the games do
thing.
that. I feel like Navi does that as much.
Not really.
In all the games, it annoyed me. Like, I'm not a baby. I can figure out that I can open the door or stuff like that.
To me, the annoying thing, like when I said she's annoying, I didn't talk about this gameplay shit, but just her voice.
Her voice is
hate
annoying.
her voice. Like it really gets on
Good
my
impression.
like when the first second I heard it, I was like, it sounds like it's trying to be like Midna, but not.
Yeah, I thought the same.
It's like because Midna had a weird kind of reversed gibberish voice, weird, and it was like it sounded cool. I like Midna's voice.
Wait.
And now.
Just real quick, did we even talk about the Twilight Princess at all?
I don't think we did.
Maybe I forgot. That was also one of my favorite Zelda games. I loved it. I mean, actually, I keep saying that. I liked them all except Wind Waker was just a bit problematic. Like I liked them. I liked them all a lot. Just Wind Waker, like. But not only the pacing, just the dungeons I really thought were weak, and the bosses were boring for the most part. There was like one or two that were really cool bosses, and then everything else, the gameplay kind of didn't do it for me.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree? Yeah. I really like all the others though. They're really, really good.
Like it's still fun. It's still super fun. I really like. It's still really good Zelda, but
yeah,
it's the traveling really. Is like,
Twilight Princess I really loved. It was.
I really like Midna.
I really loved Midna. I like the art style.
Midna's the best character in the entire fucking game.
She's so cool.
Holy
yeah, she's
shit.
really cool. She's really, really cool.
And there's character development too.
Yeah,
which is like pretty rare for a Zelda game.
She's so like cheeky, but also cool.
She's at the start. She's super like bossy and cocky.
I love that kind of character.
Yeah, and then later down the line, she turns like, "Oh, by the way, I'm actually really hurt, and you need to help me."
Yeah. It's scary and it's cool. And I also, I'm not sure if it was also in Twilight Princess. I really like Link in this game, in Skyward Sword. But I think also Twilight Princess, I felt the same. Like I liked him as a character. He actually had personality. Because in Ocarina of Time, he's kind of like characterless. But
well, yeah, you couldn't really do that much in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. But in Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, I really liked him. And I just love all the designs of the store owners and stuff. I don't know if you saw them. You must have, right? Yeah. The store owners, like in the bazaar, in the main, like where you start in the game.
Yeah, I don't like. I remember there was like the potion people. They were really cool.
Yeah, they were really funny. But there's also another guy who like when you go up to his booth, he like creeps over, really excited, and he's like when you're looking at his store, he's like, is he gonna buy something? And if you turn around and walk away, you see him like slump over, like, and he walks away. And yeah, if you start to buy something from him, and then you're like, nah, I don't want it. The jolly music stops for a second, and he looks at you with dead eyes. He's like, it's okay. And then he like moves on.
Like he has this, are you kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me? It's so funny.
And the dude from sorry, I don't know the names. The toon game.
Wind Waker, yeah?
Yeah, the dude from Wind Waker that was on a boat or some shit is back. The guy with the
Terry.
long...
or whatever.
Yeah, this time he's in a fucking flying house. Oh, that's such a good impression. Thank you.
Yeah, he's so funny. I love him.
He's back and he sounds the same.
The one character of like Twilight Princess that stood out to me like a lot was Maro, the little kid that opens the store later down the line, and that music, like every time I hear it, it just sticks in my head. forever.
that kid was so funny, man.
Oh, the baby.
The baby-looking kid.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and then the fact that he like sells you armor that fucking costs rubies every time you get hit is really funny too.
Oh, I don't remember.
Did you even unlock that?
Maybe I did, and I just forgot. I probably didn't buy it though.
There's like an armor that you can get. It's like the
the
Zora
but
armor.
It like doubles. You get like more gold if you pick it up though, right? I think there was a compensation. There was some good thing about it.
No. There was no good thing about it. You're literally invincible. I mean, that's
invincible.
a good thing.
That's it.
You're invincible, but every second you wear it, it costs money, and every time you get hit, it costs even more.
All right.
Literally pay to win.
That's oh, that's funny.
That is really funny. Alright, I'll just quickly talk about, I guess it kind of ties into how we were talking about the Cuphead clone at the beginning of the episode. I played Daymare 1998, which is a Resident Evil clone. It copies Resident Evil. I guess there are a lot of original things though too, like magazine management is really in depth. Like you actually lose your mag, and you don't want to reload too often and stuff like that. I'll show some footage of the game here. I really like the game. There are definitely problems though. Like I did talk about them in my review. If you want to search that, MrWoodenSheep Daymare 1998. But yeah, I really enjoyed the game. I haven't finished it because there's always new stuff to play, like new reviews that I have to push myself to, like, oh fuck, I gotta play this to review it, and then I don't finish off the other thing or whatever. But yeah, it was actually a really fun game. I would highly recommend it to people who enjoy Resident Evil. Like, go into it, do your research first, watch my review and see the differences. But that was impressive, and that was fun. I really did enjoy that one.
Didn't it originally start off as a fan Resident Evil, and then they just changed the characters and shit?
Because the old Resident Evil games are like the top-down PS1 polygony shit. And these devs were remaking Resident Evil 2 to be like a third-person thing, like the newer Resident Evil games. And at some point, Capcom stepped in and they were like, stop doing that. But they weren't assholes like many other devs, and they said, why don't you come to our office and we can talk about shit? And the reason they stopped them is because they're actually making their own Resident Evil 2 remake. And they allowed them to make this game just without the Resident Evil IP. Like, they didn't completely stop them, and they invited them over, and it's a good relationship. So I was happy for the devs for that. But yeah, it's a really fun game. Like, it's not perfect, but it's fun. I liked it.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, go on.
You reminded me of one thing, like, a little bit earlier. When you talk about that one boss that's like a really cool mechanic, I started playing Borderlands 2 because people like Borderlands. I never got into Borderlands. It's a long story, but I got into it now a little bit, and I'm pretty fine. But I felt like
in the second game,
I thought there was on the Borderlands 2. Sorry, and I was like, honestly, I thought it would be more like Crazy Guns, but I found one that I like really, really enjoyed. I found a little detail about it, which I thought was really cool. So I found like a pistol. It's called the Infinity Shooter something, I think. And like,
I know what you're gonna say. I think.
Yeah, there's some like, some of the guns are really cool. Like if you don't reload, instead you throw them away and they explode like grenades.
And the more ammo that they have in them, they do more damage. By the way, when you throw them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I just noticed that
that's cool. I love that.
Yeah, that's so
shit.
funny. It's so creative. Yeah.
I destroyed one boss by just shooting them once and then throwing
there
the fucking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that gun, I was like, what the fuck? This thing is so fucking inaccurate. So like on long distance, the like infinity gun, and it's literally a pistol with like one bullet, but it never runs out of it, so it shoots infinitely.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and then I was like shooting at enemies. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't hit shit on distances. I looked at the recoil pattern, and the recoil pattern of the gun is actually an sideways 8 for the infinity.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool.
That's so funny. Man.
There's so many like small things that are like really, really cool.
And
about this
I
game.
love the writing in Borderlands 1 and 2. It's so funny. Like there's really some hilarious quests. Really, really fucking funny.
There's like fuck, I really didn't expect that, but like Handsome Jack actually is like a really interesting character.
Great, he's a great character.
And you can kind of, this is also the first time that really happened to me. I'm like relatively like non-susceptible to propaganda and such, but
Mhm.
like holy shit, the stuff like they write, I can totally see like somebody fall for all that stuff.
Yeah,
That they like,
and he's like convincing, and he's so likable.
Except for
He's
the-
charismatic. He's
yeah, except for the part where there's statues of him everywhere and posters.
It's a bit weird.
But yeah.
A bit weird. Yeah, but he's a really good villain. I really like him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think most
Like
people
how-
agree.
no.
He's great.
It's just a bit weird. There's like a couple of things that are kind of weird with Borderlands. Is I feel like well, the guns are not as like crazy as I thought they would be. I'm not gonna
They
lie.
kind of advertise. Yeah, they kind of advertise it like they're gonna.
Oh,
they're
they're
all
so
gonna be
cool.
weird, but they're not really.
Yeah, most of them is literally like the part with the like it throws it like a grenade. I found like 20 of those.
Yeah, that's a brand. It's a doll, I think, or something.
Oh, it's okay.
It's a
I
specific
didn't
brand
notice
that does that. Yeah.
But yeah, and then they just combine that with like, oh yeah, this one shoots a bit faster, this one does corroding
It was
damage or
Torg,
whatever.
actually, I think. Somehow these stuck with me.
Crazy.
I like the names.
Yeah.
The propaganda worked. But yeah, so sometimes I find shit that's like just blatantly fucking overpowered. My sniper rifle is like some fully automatic sniper rifle that one shots everything in the head. Still, I got this thing like 10 levels ago.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've
it's-
carried this gun for ages.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Borderlands. I would have played through it with you, but I've had like 300 hours on it. I've played it enough.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a second playthrough some other time.
Yeah, I
if
could
you
do it. Yeah.
care for it. But I just wanted to like go through this.
Do you have the
pretty much
DLCs?
alone.
Because they're really good.
No, I don't.
Oh,
But I've
really?
seen like they're constantly being advertised. It's like, hey,
They're
You want-
always
you-
dirt
you
cheap.
want me
Pick them up
for
at some
Sanj?
point.
yeah, maybe I should.
They're really good.
Let me see. Maybe they're dirt cheap right now.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Borderlands is cool.
I'm glad you're enjoying that.
Did you want to talk about You Were Here?
Yeah, I'll skip some of this stuff. I just want to talk about the really fresh stuff. Me and Simi played a game called We Were Here. It's an escape room game. This one's pretty old, the first one. It's an escape room game where it's asymmetrical. So each of you are separated. You're in different rooms, and you have to communicate via walkie-talkie and talk about what you see and stuff like that, and help each other solve puzzles and progress.
Oh, the demon one?
Demon one? No, that's Exorcise the Demons. That's very similar.
Oh, okay.
We'll also talk about that. But We Were Here. Yeah, it's just you're like in a mysterious castle, and you know. I want to try.
So, that means we had to put a fucking folder between
Yeah, our computers are right next to each other, so we had to like make a makeshift wall. Let me see here.
It's just like when we played this seat, basically.
Yeah.
It's like when you're like having a test in school and you have to like wall up so
Oh
the guy
my
next to you
God.
doesn't fucking cheat.
You did that shit too.
So
Well,
we're-
hell yeah, you had to.
So you were stopping others from cheating from you, right? Because that's how I was.
Hell yeah.
I never really cheated off of people.
Yeah, but we couldn't have books. We weren't allowed to have books on the desk, so I built a wall with myself.
What
like
the fuck kind of school were you in?
because you're not allowed to look in the book because you might copy from it.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought, yeah, whatever.
Okay,
I
yeah.
thought that just if the book is closed and you just have it like
Yeah,
applied,
but
then
they don't even allow that because you might sneakily open it or some shit. And I've done that, lol. But just I just like put myself over the paper and like my arms around the paper and just like in a way that only I see the paper.
yeah, like a flashlight over the shoulder.
But I have cheated at some point, not many times. It was just when it was like, there's just one question.
I've probably done it as well. I think everyone has at some point, like once or twice.
But let me just say real quick, like one of the times I cheated, it's because it's fucking bullshit. We had to write a poem from memory perfectly. And it's like, bitch, why is that even useful? Why do I need to do that? So I just had the book on my lap opened and I would sneakily copy it from there. It's like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
memorize a fucking poem. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
But back
Anyways,
to We
now
Were
to the
Here.
game.
Yeah, the first one was free, so if you want to try that out. The second one is called We Were Here 2. It's the same thing, and we also played We Were Here Together.
We didn't finish
It just
though.
came out. We're like probably 30
Probably at the
minutes
end.
from beating it.
Well, they were
Um,
smarter than the Nintendo guys with their Wii and their Wii U, but they could have called it Wii 2. But
Wii
hey, none of
2.
my business.
Yeah, but I love the series. It's so fun. I mean, I won't show footage of this new
Although
one. It just came out.
like it can get frustrating.
We did get a little bit like, no, I'm telling you, you have to add these numbers, and it's like, but I'm telling you, I don't see these numbers. So you know, it kind of can be like that. It's one of those games. But for the most part, we had a lot of fun, and even if it's frustrating, you finish and you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I do want to say though that the third one is probably the most glitchy so far.
Well, we played it on day one. The other ones we've played like 3 years after release. So
yeah. They're probably gonna fix it. Like there was a part where I just fell through the map and had to restart. Or like there was a part where literally the fucking thing that you get from beating the puzzle, like it's inside a wall or something, and I accidentally picked it up through the wall before solving the puzzle, and that really confused me. Or like another puzzle was supposed to be correct the way we did it, but it glitched and we had to do something incorrect.
That one was frustrating because but
also I also want to say that this third one, the way the puzzles are, is quite different from the previous game. Like they're a lot more puzzly, I guess. They're really like they're a lot harder.
It's more it's less about the communication, like because in the first two games it's like more like keep talking and nobody explodes kind of. I don't know how to explain it, but the third one has
where you're like, oh yeah, I have this letter that looks like a fork, but it has a bobble
stuff
at the
like
end.
that. Or maybe if you're not careful and very specific enough, you might make the mistake. But in this third one, they have that as well. But they also have puzzles that could be in a single player game, kind of, where it's like you just need to find the right order of switches and doors. But they put it in this multiplayer game, which makes it a lot harder and frustrating because you can't see the whole puzzle to analyze it. And it had the most puzzles that I didn't like. The other ones were like pretty much perfect. The third one had puzzles I didn't like, but it also had some really good ones. So anyway, whatever. I highly recommend this series. Like, I love escape room stuff. I love co-op stuff. I love asymmetrical stuff. And this was like, oh, great. And the story is really interesting. The music is great. Yeah, good stuff. I really like that.
And it's got, the first one has some like the weirdest 30 achievements. Like, what the fuck?
There's an achievement where it's like get the secret ending, and we were like, ooh.
It's called happy ending.
We were like, ooh, okay, what's this? Because we were missing an achievement, and I looked it up because I couldn't figure out how to do it, and it's to repeatedly. There's a lever that you can find somewhere at some point. It's used in the puzzle. It's a lever, just really long and thin, and it's tipped with a red like cone. And the achievement is to just pull that up and down several times until confetti comes out of the tip. And it's a happy ending, like you're jerking off a dick.
That sounds, I was about to say, that sounds weirdly sexual.
And it's like,
you jerk the lever up and down and then confetti comes out of the cone.
And that's not the only dirty achievement in that game. There was also, because, you know, like exactly like you said, Tommy, like, oh, there's a fork with the bubble thing, whatever. Like, it has exactly shit like that. Like, there's symbols where you have to describe them and it's really specific, whatever. And there was this symbol that we always described as a dick with a key coming out of it.
As a joke, we were like, that's just what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a dick head with a key coming out of it. That's what we were saying. And at some point, there's an achievement
if you
for
complete
beating a
the puzzle.
Yeah, and the achievement picture is that symbol, the fucking thing we call a dick, and the text is that a question mark? Like the fucking devs are
really
aware that it actually, like, they also think it looks like a dick. It's
I
so
want to
funny.
see what this looks like. You're gonna send me this after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can just search it, but yeah. And yeah, exercise the demons.
Yeah, just another really quick mention. Exercise the demons. It's like Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes. But for those that don't know anyway, basically one person has the instructions for how to exercise the demons and how to do the rituals. Another person's doing the rituals, and you need to communicate back and forth. You're like not meant to look at each other's screens or whatever. And yeah, me and Simmy put up a video of it if you want to check it out. I think it's a really funny video. It took me ages to edit. I made it very nice and palatable, where you see the page that she's talking to me with and stuff like that.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
It took you forever also because you thought it was VR.
Dude, because Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is also VR compatible, and and this one, all the trailers and stuff have the VR hands trailer where they're like, whoa. Like, you always see the hand doing stuff. Whoa.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I set up the VR and I couldn't get it to launch. I was like, what is going on? Why can't this work? And Simi was like, is this game even VR? And I paused for a second. I was like, what the fuck? Like, why? It's just in my mind. It's inspired by a game that has VR. The hand looks like VR and whatever. And yeah, it wasn't.
See, don't assume.
I shouldn't assume. That's a lesson. But I feel like there was a fucking mention of it, and they got in my brain. But maybe not. Anyway, yeah.
I want to say something about this game real quick. Like, it's cool, but why would they put dialogue and story in a game like this where you're meant to communicate with each other constantly, and the dialogue takes forever, and it's not interesting.
Dude.
They just say every fucking level, they say the exact same thing but with different words, and it's not interesting, and the acting is not good.
You're meant to be like, there's a timer. The level starts and you're like ready to go, like, okay, here's what I see. But no, instead you hear Elle and what the fuck was the other guy's name? John. Elle and John are like, where am I? You need to listen to me and I will help you get through this. What is going on? You're talking nonsense, right? And they go like that. First of all, that's already stupid. You're meant to be talking. And this doesn't need a story, okay? Like, some of these don't need story. Number two, they go on for fucking like 3 minutes. They're talking, the timer's ticking. And also, if you die, they do it again. They repeat it. And yeah, like somebody said, every level, John is again. This is crazy. What's going on? And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Like, what? Don't you get it? You're exercising demons.
Okay, first level, I'll forgive you. You're okay. Now get over it. Oh.
Like we're literally like halfway through the game and they still go on about
what's annoying.
What's going on?
I like story, but come on, not for this game.
But yeah, in this game, like, I hate that John and Elle are we are supposed to be them, kind of, because in the game, Elle is the one with the instructions and John is doing the exercise. But like, we're doing that. We are John and Elle. Don't fucking make characters for it. Like, just leave us to do our shit.
That seems like such a no-brainer to fix, or like just not do in the first place.
It was extra effort that made it worse.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Like, why would you think that dialogue and story was a good idea for this? But yeah, I like that, unlike We Were Here, like this and like Exercise the Demons and Keep Talking, only one person needs the game, basically, especially if you're in one room.
Well, not for We Were Here. You both need the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying, unlike We Were Here, these don't need both of you. But I want to say, like, because the instructions are just like, you just find in a PDF or some shit. And I just think it's kind of funny that right now on my desktop, I just have a PDF called Book of Rituals. Like, out of context, someone sees that, it's like, what the fuck? And when you open it, it looks like they made it look like some old ass book.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, look, candles and shit. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
That is really cool, though.
It is.
And meanwhile, the one for Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes, like the bomb manual looks so legit, like some shit you see in a fucking engineering university where it's like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Have you played Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes?
I have, yeah.
So
I feel like that game would be like way better. Like, we did it like we did it with VR once and without VR, and so we had to like have the instructions open on a separate monitor, and like I don't look, and so we turned the monitor away and stuff like that. But I feel like if you have a like laser printer or some shit, fucking printing instructions out, it's like it would be so much more fun to do it like that.
I think that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, you are.
Or like they assume that most people are not necessarily in the same room with the computers in the same room, so you wouldn't see it on a PDF anyways. But yeah, it would be cool. Like, and it's also more frantic. Like, where's the paper? Like, you just
which page? Oh no, it's me and I can't read it.
God damn it, we ran out of red ink.
I don't know what color this is.
Oh yeah, you print it out in black and white, and then it shows like all the fucking wires.
The game doesn't actually do that, but that would be really funny.
That would be really funny.
Guys, we've been going for over 3 hours, and my throat is killing me. So I think let's end it.
And I need to piss. So
okay,
bad.
I just wanted to quickly mention, because this won't be news later, the games I can talk about. But Steam has a new library. Have you tried it, Tommy?
I haven't at all. How the fuck do you even open this?
You can apply to it through the Steam beta.
Fuck that.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can just wait. It's gonna be more polished. But I fucking love it. Like, a lot of people are upset. I don't get why. Like, this is what the library looks like now. I don't know. It's as long as I always have the list here. I like it. Yeah, sorry.
How do you even get that?
You go to the top left, Steam settings, and then you like sign into opt into the beta.
Where the fuck is that? Am I blind?
Well, anyway, you can like I love this home page because you can actually see the news. Like you actually see like, oh, For Honor has an update. I didn't know that, and I played many games because of that. Like, you actually see the news things up here. That's cool. You've got recent games that you played, and as long as you can see like here what your friends played and stuff like that. But as long as they never get rid of the list, I'm happy, because I was afraid this would become like Origin, where it's like just big tiles and no list. But you've got your list, same thing as as always. And what's a good example? What has cards and achievements?
And don't forget to mention you can also now put stuff into your own category. Like you can put stuff. It's like, oh, just co-op games.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, you can like search store tags in your library. So I search local multiplayer games in my library, and I can get those. But yeah, I don't. And you can like scroll down here, and you can see the community hub of your game if you scroll down, like under your personal stuff. And I just think it's really intuitive design, and I'm so happy. I'm really happy to see it all.
You wanna show cards?
Yeah, cards is great. You got this little thing if you 100% the achievements. What game has cards? I can't.
Undertale.
Does Undertale have cards?
Go at cards.
Yeah, of course, Undertale has
cards too.
Here you go. There you go. Look at that graphic. Ooh, baby.
Damn.
Ooh.
Holy shit. There was like some nude stuff there that I saw.
Nope.
Holy shit.
All right, but yeah. Anyway, I like it. And you got the little banner up here, and like, yeah, I like it a lot. I just wanted to tell people in case they don't know.
I'm just looking right now. Holy shit! You can like twist the cards. That's really cool.
Yeah. You see that? You see that?
Hmm.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that quick. I'm really happy with that. So. Anyway, yeah, my throat is like a Sahara desert.
How?
Because I've been talking mostly. I think most.
And we also didn't have water for like 2 hours.
I drank 2 cups worth. I drank mine and yours.
You drank my water.
Oh, that's the way you gotta do it sometimes. All right, but anyway, thank you, Tommy, for bearing with that story. It was helpful though. I think it was really helpful.
The shit sandwich, the really big log turd sandwich. Yeah. It's more shit than sandwich.
And thank you to the viewers also for. Where is the outro music that I'm looking for? There.
Just make your own.
No, I'm playing it there. We did that last time with the Imperial March, and it was a disaster.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sticking around, everybody. Let us know what you think about that. Let us know about Licorice. Give us all the details. And next episode, we're going back to normal.
Not gonna lie, I still have the box, and I'm still sniffing it, and it smells really.
Well, there you go. So, all right. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you next time. And may you walk
the path of licorice.
The path of licorice. Well said. Well said.
Wow. See you.